Right now, at this very moment, your heart is performing a miracle. It's beating without you telling it to, pumping blood to every corner of your body, keeping you alive while you rest. Before you were born, it started beating, and it will continue until your very last breath. Over 3 billion times in an average lifetime. Never stopping. Never resting. This is just one of the countless wonders happening inside you right now. Welcome to Serene Science Channel. If these gentle explorations bring you peace, consider subscribing. It helps this quiet corner grow, reaching more minds, seeking rest. Tonight, we journey inward, not with complex jargon or sterile facts, but with wonder and gentleness. We'll explore the extraordinary machine that is your body. As you listen, let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Allow your breathing to find its own natural rhythm. There's nothing to do, nothing to solve. Just listen and drift. Let's begin. Every single second, without you ever asking, your bone marrow creates approximately 2 million red blood cells. 2 million. Every second, these microscopic factories exist deep inside your bones, in spaces you've never seen, working in darkness, in silence, in perfect rhythm. Each new red blood cell is packed with hemoglobin, a protein designed to capture oxygen and carry it wherever your body needs it most. These cells will travel through your entire circulatory system, making the complete journey roughly every 60 seconds. For 4 months, each cell will work tirelessly, bending and flexing through capillaries so narrow they must pass single file, delivering oxygen to your brain, your muscles, your organs, every tiny corner of you that needs fuel to survive. After about 120 days of faithful service, the cell begins to wear out. Its membrane becomes less flexible. Its enzymes slow down, and quietly, without fanfare, the spleen recognizes this aging cell and removes it from circulation. But nothing is wasted. The iron is carefully extracted and saved. The proteins are broken down and recycled. That same iron, that same building material, would be used to create new cells, continuing the cycle. Right now, as you rest, this process is happening. Millions of old cells are being retired. Millions of new ones are being born. You are being renewed, cell by cell, breath by breath, continuously. Your brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons. If you tried to count them, one number per second, without sleeping or stopping, it would take you nearly 3,000 years. But the true wonder isn't in the number, it's in the connections. Each neuron can link to as many as 10,000 other neurons, creating a web of communication so intricate, so vast, that it dwarfs any computer network humanity has ever built. These connections aren't permanent. They shift and change constantly. When you learn something new, when you practice a skill, when you remember a face or a song or the smell of your childhood home, your brain physically rewires itself. Neurons that fire together begin to wire together, strengthening their bonds, creating highways of thought that become easier to travel with each repetition. This is why practice works, why skills improve, why memories deepen. Your brain is not a fixed structure, it's living tissue, adaptive and responsive, sculpting itself based on your experiences, your attention, your life. Even now, as you listen to these words, as you process their meaning, neurons are firing in patterns, creating tiny changes in your brain's architecture. You are not the same person you were when you began listening. You've changed microscopically, but measurably. Your brain has been reshaped by every moment of your existence, by every thought, every sensation, every dream. And while you sleep tonight, your brain will continue its work, consolidating what you learned today, pruning connections that aren't being used, strengthening pathways that matter. It never truly rests. It simply changes its tasks. If you could stretch out all the blood vessels in your body and lay them end to end, they would reach approximately 60,000 miles. That's enough to circle the Earth more than twice. Think about that. Inside you, right now, is a network of tubes so vast, so extensive, that it could wrap around the planet. The largest of these vessels are your arteries, thick and muscular, pulsing with each heartbeat, carrying oxygen-rich blood away from your heart. They branch into smaller arteries, then even smaller arterioles, dividing again and again like a tree, spreading its branches into ever thinner twigs. Eventually, they become capillaries, vessels so thin that red blood cells must squeeze through in single file. The walls of capillaries are only one cell thick, thin enough that oxygen and nutrients can slip through, passing into the tissues that surround them. Carbon dioxide and waste products move the other direction, entering the blood to be carried away. From the capillaries, blood gathers into small venules, then larger veins, flowing back toward the heart and lungs to be refreshed and sent out again. This entire network is dynamic, responsive, intelligent. When you exercise, vessels in your muscles dilate, allowing more blood flow to meet increased demand. When you eat, blood is redirected toward your digestive system. When you're cold, surface vessels constrict, preserving heat for your core. Your body is constantly adjusting this vast network, redirecting traffic, maintaining balance, ensuring that every cell receives what it needs. And all of this happens without your conscious input, without you needing to think or plan or manage. Your circulatory system knows what to do. The lining of your stomach is replaced completely every 3 to 5 days. Inside your stomach, the environment is extraordinarily harsh. Hydrochloric acid, strong enough to dissolve metal given enough time, chunks and splashes against the stomach walls, breaking down the food you eat, killing bacteria that might have entered with your meal. This acid is necessary, essential for digestion and protection. But it's also dangerous. Left unchecked, it would digest your own tissue as readily as it digests a piece of meat. So your stomach protects itself with a thick layer of mucus, a slippery barrier that prevents the acid from touching the actual stomach wall. But even this isn't enough. The cells that line your stomach, despite the mucus protection, still face constant assault. They become damaged, weakened, worn down by the harsh chemical environment they work in. So your body replaces them. New cells are born in the depths of the stomach lining. In tiny pockets, called gastric pits, they migrate upward, pushing older cells toward the surface. Within 3 to 5 days, the entire inner surface of your stomach has been renewed. The old cells are shed, swept away with the food you eat, digested and broken down like anything else. The new cells take their place, fresh and resilient. This rapid turnover is why most minor stomach irritations heal quickly. The damaged surface is already scheduled for replacement. Within a week, the problem area will be entirely new tissue. You're constantly being rebuilt, layer by layer, room by room, without you ever noticing. Every minute of every day, your kidneys filter approximately 1 liter of blood. Over 24 hours, they process about 1,500 liters, roughly 400 gallons. Your entire blood volume passes through your kidneys about 40 times each day. These two bean-shaped organs, each about the size of your fist, are sitting quietly in your lower back right now, performing one of the most sophisticated quality control operations in nature. Blood enters under pressure, forced through millions of tiny filtering units called nephrons. Each nephron contains a cluster of capillaries wrapped in a delicate membrane. As blood flows through, water and small molecules are pushed through the membrane, creating a crude, watery draft of what might become urine. But this initial filtrate contains many things your body can't afford to lose. So it begins an intricate process of selective reabsorption. As the filtrate flows through a long, winding tubulae, specialized cells along the walls actively reclaim what's valuable. Glucose is pulled back into the bloodstream. So are amino acids, vitamins, and most of the water. Sodium, potassium, calcium, all carefully balanced and reabsorbed in precise amounts. What remains, what's allowed to continue forward and eventually leave your body as urine, is the excess, the waste, the chemical debris that would harm you if it accumulated. Your kidneys don't just filter. They make thousands of tiny decisions every hour. Too much salt in your blood? They remove Italiano, not enough water. They conserve it. Blood too acidic. They add Hust Italiano, too many toxins. They cleared them. And they do all of this automatically, continuously, tirelessly. While you sleep, your kidneys keep working, testing, adjusting, maintaining the delicate chemical balance that your cells depend on. They're silent guardians, unnoticed until they fail. You have approximately 100,000 hairs on your head, and each one grows from its own individual factory called a follicle. These follicles are scattered across your scalp, tiny pockets embedded in your skin, each operating on its own independent schedule. At any given moment, about 90% of your follicles are actively growing hair. They're in what's called the anagen phase, producing new cells at the base of the hair shaft, lengthening it slowly, steadily, about ½ an inch per month. This growth phase can last anywhere from 2 to 7 years, depending on your genetics. Eventually, the follicle transitions to a brief resting phase called then enters telogen, a dormant period where growth stops completely. After a few months of rest, the old hair is shed, falls out naturally, and the follicle returns to the growth phase, beginning the cycle again with a fresh hair. Because each follicle operates independently on its own timeline, you don't lose all your hair at once. Instead, you shed about 50 to 100 hairs every day, a constant, gentle rain of old hairs being replaced by new ones. The hair you see, the strands you wash and brush and style, are actually dead. They're composed of a protein called keratin, produced by living cells at the follicle base, and then hardened, locked into shape. But beneath the surface, hidden in your scalp, the follicle itself is very much alive, a tiny biological factory working continuously, building upward, creating the hair that will eventually emerge into the light. Your eyes can distinguish between approximately 10 million different colors. This extraordinary feat is accomplished with just 3 types of cone cells in your retina, each sensitive to different wavelengths of light. One type responds most strongly to red light, another to green, the third to blue. From these 3 simple inputs, 3 different signals, your brain constructs an entire rainbow of experience. It compares the strength of each signal, calculates the ratios, interprets the pattern. When mostly red, cones fire, you perceive red. When red and green fire equally, you see yellow. The combinations are nearly endless. A sunset becomes a symphony of oranges and pinks and purples, each shade distinct, each hue created inside your mind from the mathematical relationship between 3 numbers. Your brain is painting the world for you, using electrical impulses as pigment. And here's something stranger still. The colors you see might not be quite the same as the colors someone else sees. We can agree that grass is green and the sky is blue because we've learned to attach those words to those experiences. But your internal experience of green, The quality of greenness is locked inside your consciousness. I can never know if the green you see matches the green I see. We can only trust that we're both responding to the same wavelengths in consistent ways. Color is personal, subjective, a creation of your individual brain. The world outside is just electromagnetic radiation of different frequencies. You turn it into color. When you cut your skin, your body launches an immediate and remarkably sophisticated repair operation. Within seconds, before you've even fully registered the pain, platelets in your blood have detected the breach. These tiny cell fragments, usually drifting passively through your circulation, suddenly activates. They change shape, becoming sticky and irregular. Reaching out to grab onto the damaged tissue, they pile onto each other, forming a temporary plug, a makeshift dam to slow the bleeding. But this plug is fragile, easily dislodged, so your body initiates a backup system, a complex cascade of clotting factors. These proteins, normally floating inactively in your blood, activate in precise sequences, each one triggering the next, like a row of dominoes falling. The final steps produce fibrin, a stringy protein that weaves through the platelet plug-like threads in a fabric, creating a mesh, a net that transforms the fragile plug into a strong, stable clot. Meanwhile, all around the injury site, your body is releasing anti-clotting chemicals, carefully preventing the clot from spreading beyond where it's needed. The balance is delicate. Too little clotting, and you bleed. Too much, and dangerous clots form inside healthy vessels, potentially causing strokes or heart attacks. But your body knows the balance. It builds the barrier exactly where needed, then stops. Once the immediate danger is past, once the skin beneath has begun to heal, another system activates, slowly dissolving the clot, breaking it down, clearing the path so blood can flow freely again. Within days or weeks, depending on the wound's size, the clot is gone, replaced by new skin. All that remains is perhaps a faint scar, a reminder of the battle your body fought and won automatically. While you went about your day, your liver is one of the only organs in your body with the remarkable ability to regenerate. If disease or injury destroyed half your liver today, the remaining half would begin to grow. New cells would divide and multiply. Blood vessels would branch and extend. Bile ducts would reform and reorganize. Within a few months, your liver could return to nearly its original size, restoring full function. This regenerative capacity is almost unique among your organs. Your heart can't do this. Your brain can't do this. But your liver can. Ancient storytellers somehow intuited this. In Greek mythology, Prometheus was chained to a rock as punishment for giving fire to humanity. Each day, an eagle would come and devour his liver. Each night, the liver would grow back, ready to be consumed again the next day. The myth is brutal, but it reflects a deep, old understanding of the liver's unique resilience. Modern medicine has learned to harness this ability. Living liver donation is possible because of regeneration. A healthy person can donate a portion of their liver to someone whose liver is failing. The donor's remaining liver grows back. The recipient's new liver piece also grows, eventually providing full function. Both people end up with complete, functional livers. It's almost magical. Of course, there are limits. Chronic damage, scarring, cirrhosis, ongoing toxins. These can impair the liver's ability to regenerate. The damage can outpace the healing, but under the right conditions, with the right support, your liver can rebuild itself. It's an organ that knows how to heal, how to grow, how to restore what's been lost. Every time you breathe in, air travels down a branching network that splits again and again, like an upside-down tree growing inside your chest. The journey begins at your nose or mouth, passes through your throat, and enters your trachea. A sturdy tube held open by rings of cartilage, about halfway down your chest. The trachea divides into two bronchi, one leading to each lung. These bronchi continue dividing, splitting into smaller and smaller branches called The branching continues, becoming finer and finer, until the tubes are barely wider than a hair. At the end of the smallest bronchioles sit clusters of tiny air sacs, called alveoli. You have about 500 million alveoli in your lungs. Each one is wrapped in a delicate net of capillaries, blood vessels so small that red blood cells must squeeze through in single file. The walls of the alveoli are incredibly thin, thinner than tissue paper, allowing gases to pass through easily. When you inhale, fresh air fills these sacs. Oxygen molecules slip across the thin membrane, binding to hemoglobin in red blood cells. At the same time, carbon dioxide, the waste product brought back from your body's cells, moves the opposite direction, leaving the blood and entering the alveolar air. When you exhale, you breathe out this carbon dioxide, clearing it from your system. This exchange happens with every breath, automatically, efficiently. If you could somehow spread out all your alveoli and lay them flat, the surface area would be enormous, roughly the size of a tennis court. All of this surface is folded and tucked inside your chest, maximized for efficiency. Your lungs are not just bags of air. They're intricate structures designed to extract oxygen from the atmosphere and deliver it to your blood with remarkable effectiveness. Every breath is an exchange, a conversation between your body and the world. Your skin completely renews itself approximately every 28 days. Right now, as you rest, the outer layer of your skin, the part you can see and touch, is actually dead. It's composed of flattened cells filled with tough, protective proteins, sealed together to form a waterproof barrier. These dead cells gradually flake off, constantly, invisibly. Every time you move, every time cloth rubs against your skin, you shed tiny fragments. Much of the dust in your home is actually you, pieces of shed skin cells that have drifted away. But beneath this dead layer, deeper in your skin, new cells are being born continuously. They start in the lowest layer, the basal layer, where cells divide and multiply. These fresh cells gradually push upward, moving toward the surface, maturing and changing as they rise. They produce more and more keratin, the protein that makes skin tough and waterproof. Eventually, they die. But their death is purposeful. They become part of the protective barrier, joining the outer layer, replacing the cells that have been shed. The journey from birth to surface takes about 28 days on average. This means the skin you have today, the outer layer you're touching right now, is entirely different from the skin you had a month ago. That skin is gone, shed, swept away. The skin you have now was beneath the surface a few weeks ago, waiting its turn, and the skin you'll have a month from now is being created right now, deep in your skin's living layers. You are always becoming new. Your sense of smell is directly wired to the parts of your brain that process emotion and memory. When you smell something, scent molecules dissolve in the mucus lining your nasal cavity and bind to specialized receptors. These receptors send signals to the olfactory bulb, a structure sitting at the base of your brain. From there, the signals travel directly to the limbic system, specifically to the hippocampus, which processes memory, and the amygdala, which processes emotion. This pathway is unique. Other senses, vision, hearing, touch, all pass through intermediary processing centers before reaching emotional and memory centers. But smell goes almost directly to the emotional core of your brain. This is why Scent is so powerfully linked to memory and feeling. A whiff of a particular perfume can transport you instantly back to childhood, to a specific moment, a specific person. You don't just remember intellectually. You feel it, viscerally, emotionally. The smell of fresh bread might bring comfort. The scent of rain might evoke nostalgia. A particular flower might trigger grief or joy, depending on what it's connected to in your history. These aren't just associations. They're deep neurological connections, pathways carved by experience, reinforced by repetition. Your nose is a time machine, capable of pulling up memories that have been buried for decades, bringing them back with startling clarity and emotional force. Smell is often underestimated, considered a lesser sense, but it's intimately tied to who you are, to your history, to the experiences that shaped you. Your heart doesn't actually need your brain to beat. It has its own electrical system, a built-in pacemaker located in the right atrium called the sinoatrial node. This small cluster of specialized cells generates electrical impulses rhythmically, automatically, without any input from your brain. These impulses spread through the heart muscle, triggering contractions in a coordinated wave, creating the heartbeat. If you could somehow remove a heart from a body and keep it supplied with oxygen and nutrients, it would continue beating on its own, maintaining its own rhythm independent of the nervous system. This self-sufficiency is why heart transplants work. When a donated heart is placed into a recipient, most of the nerve connections from the brain are severed, yet the heart continues to beat, because the rhythm originates from within the heart itself. Your brain can influence your heart, of course. The nervous system can speed up or slow down the rate, adjust the strength of contractions, respond to stress or relaxation. But the fundamental rhythm, the basic beat, comes from the heart's own pacemaker. It's autonomous, independent, resilient. Your heart knows its job. It's been beating since before you were born. Since about 3 weeks after conception, it started without being told, and it will continue until your very last moment. Faithful, tireless, constant. You have about 40 trillion bacteria living in and on your body. That number is staggering. It means you have more bacterial cells than human cells. In a very real, literal sense, you are more bacterial than human. Most of these microbes live in your intestines, particularly your large intestine, where they form a complex ecosystem of astonishing diversity. Hundreds of different species coexist, competing, cooperating, forming communities. These bacteria aren't parasites. They're partners. They help digest foods that your own enzymes can't break down, particularly certain fibers. They produce vitamins, including vitamin K and some B vitamins, contributing to your nutritional needs. They train your immune system, teaching it to distinguish between harmless organisms and dangerous pathogens. They even produce chemicals that can influence your mood and behavior, signaling to your brain through the gut-brain axis. Without these bacteria, you couldn't survive. You depend on them just as they depend on you. This relationship has been evolving for millions of years. A partnership so deep that it's become essential. When you take antibiotics, you're not just killing, invading bacteria. You're also disrupting your own internal community, wiping out beneficial species, along with harmful ones. This is why antibiotic use can cause digestive problems. The ecosystem has been thrown into chaos. Recovery takes time. The community must rebuild, gradually restoring balance. You are not a single organism. You're an ecosystem, a collection of species working together to maintain health. This perspective changes everything. Your bones are not solid. If you could look inside one, you'd see a complex lattice structure. with struts and beams arranged in patterns that maximize strength while minimizing weight. Engineers study bone architecture because it's remarkably efficient. The outer layer is dense and hard, providing strength. But inside, the bone is filled with a honeycomb-like network of trabeculae, tiny beams of bone tissue arranged along lines of stress. This design allows bones to support enormous forces without being unbearably heavy. If your skeleton were solid bone, you'd weigh much more and movement would be far more difficult. Inside many bones, particularly larger ones, like your femur and hip bones, there's also space for marrow. Red marrow is where your blood cells are produced. Yellow marrow stores fat, serving as an energy reserve. So your skeleton isn't just a structural frame, it's a factory for blood cells, a storage site for minerals like calcium and phosphorus, and a responsive system that constantly remodels itself based on how you use it. When you lift weights, when you run, when you put stress on your bones, they respond by becoming denser, stronger, adding material along the lines where stress is greatest. When you're inactive for long periods, the opposite happens. Bones become less dense, lighter, more fragile. They adapt to your lifestyle. This is why astronauts, who spend time in zero gravity, lose bone density. Without the constant stress of supporting body weight, their bones begin to thin. But back on Earth, with activity and time, bone density can be partially restored. Your skeleton is living tissue, not dead scaffolding. Every cell in your body contains the complete instruction manual for building an entire human being. Your DNA holds the full blueprint. Every skin cell, every liver cell, every neuron, every blood cell carries this complete set of instructions. What makes a liver cell different from a brain cell isn't the information it contains, but which parts of that information are active. Imagine having a cookbook with 10,000 recipes. A bakery might use only the dessert recipes. A pizzeria might use only the pizza recipes, but both have access to the full book. Similarly, all your cells have access to all your genes, but each cell type only uses the genes relevant to its function. A liver cell activates genes for producing liver enzymes, for detoxifying chemicals, for storing glucose. Those same genes exist in a skin cell, but they're turned off, silenced. Instead, the skin cell activates genes for producing keratin, for creating waterproof barriers, for protecting against UV damage. This selective activation is controlled by incredibly complex regulatory mechanisms involving chemical tags on DNA, proteins that enhance or suppress gene activity, and signals from neighboring cells. This system is so sophisticated that it can create over 200 different cell types from a single set of instructions. This is why cloning is theoretically possible. Every cell contains all the information needed to build a complete organism. The challenge isn't having the instructions, it's following them in the right order, activating the right genes at the right times, recreating the developmental process that transforms a single cell into a complex, multicellular being. The information is there, in every cell, waiting. Your eyes are always moving, even when you think you're staring perfectly still at something. If you could track your eye movements with sensitive equipment, you'd see constant tiny motions, little jumps and tremors called These movements are involuntary, unconscious, serving a crucial purpose. If your eyes were truly perfectly still, if an image remained absolutely fixed on the same photoreceptors in your retina, those receptors would adapt to the constant stimulus. They would begin to respond less and less strongly, eventually stopping their response altogether. The image would fade. You would, in effect, go blind while staring at something. This phenomena is called troxler fading, and you can experience it under certain conditions with peripheral vision. But for central vision, for the things you're looking at directly, Your eyes prevent this fading by constantly moving, shifting the image across different photoreceptors, keeping the stimulus fresh and the neurons responsive. These microsaccades happen dozens of times per second. They're so small and so fast that you're completely unaware of them. Your visual experience feels smooth and stable, but underneath, your eyes are dancing, jittering, constantly refreshing the image. Even when you read, your eyes don't glide smoothly across the line. They jump, a series of quick movements called saccades, with brief pauses called fixations in between. During the pauses, you're actually gathering visual information. During the jumps, your vision is suppressed, essentially blind, to prevent motion blur. But you don't notice these gaps because your brain fills them in, creating the illusion of continuous vision. Your eyes and brain work together to create a stable, seamless, visual world from a series of jumps, pauses, and tiny tremors. When you sleep, your brain does not rest. It changes tasks, shifting from external processing to internal maintenance. During the day, your brain is focused outward, processing sensory information, responding to the environment, making decisions. At night, that focus turns inward. One of sleep's most important functions is memory consolidation. During the day, you accumulate experiences, learning new things, forming temporary memories. These memories are fragile, stored initially in a structure called the hippocampus. During sleep, particularly during certain stages, like slow-wave sleep, your brain replays these experiences. Patterns of neural activity from the day are reactivated, sometimes in compressed, accelerated form. This replay helps transfer memories from temporary storage to more permanent storage in the cortex, integrating new information with existing knowledge, strengthening connections, making memories more stable and accessible. Sleep also serves a cleaning function. During waking hours, your brain's metabolism produces waste products, chemical debris that accumulates in the spaces between cells. Recently, scientists discovered the glymphatic system, a waste clearance system that becomes dramatically more active during sleep. Cerebrospinal fluid flows through the brain, washing away these metabolic byproducts, including proteins that, if allowed to accumulate, might contribute to neurodegenerative diseases. Sleep also allows your brain to prune unnecessary connections. Your brain is constantly forming new synapses, new connections between neurons. But not all of them are useful. During sleep, particularly during dreaming stages, the brain can weaken connections that aren't being used, trimming away the excess, making the network more efficient. Sleep is not downtime, it's essential maintenance, the foundation of cognitive health. This is why sleep deprivation is so damaging. You're not just tired, your memories aren't being properly consolidated. Your brain isn't being cleaned. Your neural networks aren't being optimized. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation your body temperature is not constant. It fluctuates throughout the day in a predictable rhythm, controlled by your circadian clock, a tiny cluster of cells in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This internal timekeeper responds primarily to light, synchronizing your body's rhythms with the day-night cycle. In most people, body temperature drops to its lowest point in the early morning hours, around 4 or 5 a.m., then rises steadily throughout the day, reaching its peak in late afternoon or early evening. This rhythm affects many things. Your alertness tends to peak when your temperature is highest. Your sleep drive increases as temperature drops. Even your physical performance varies with this rhythm. Reaction times, muscle strength, and flexibility all tend to be better when body temperature is elevated. When you travel across time zones, your body temperature rhythm doesn't instantly adjust. It continues following the old schedule for several days, gradually shifting to match local time. This mismatch between your internal clock and external time is what creates jet lag. You feel sleepy during the day because your body temperature is still dropping as if it were night. You're alert at night because your temperature is rising as if it were day. Eventually, exposure to local light cues resets the clock, and the rhythm synchronizes with your new schedule. This same mechanism explains why shift workers often struggle. Their work schedule forces them to be awake when their body temperature is dropping. When every physiological signal is saying, it's time to sleep. Fighting against this internal rhythm is difficult, and over the long term, can have health consequences. You have a blind spot in each eye, a small area where you literally cannot see anything. This blind spot exists where the optic nerve exits your retina, bundling together all the signals from your photoreceptors to carry them to your brain. At this exit point, there are no photoreceptors, no rods, no cones, nothing to detect light. It's a gap in your vision, a hole in the image. The blind spot in your right eye is slightly to the right of center. The blind spot in your left eye is slightly to the left of center. You can test this with a simple experiment, closing one eye and focusing on a point while moving a finger or object in your peripheral vision until it disappears, then reappears. But in normal, everyday vision, with both eyes open, you never notice these blind spots. Your brain fills them in, using information from the surrounding area and from your other eye to make educated guesses about what's probably there. It smooths over the gap, creating the illusion of continuous vision. Most of the time, the brain's guess is correct. The world is fairly continuous. The area inside your blind spot probably looks similar to the area around it, so the brain's filling in process works well. But occasionally, under specific circumstances, the brain can be fooled. Optical illusions exploit this, creating situations where the brain's assumptions are wrong, where the filled-in information doesn't match reality. These illusions reveal an important truth. Vision is not passive reception of images. It's active construction. Your brain is constantly interpreting, guessing, filling in gaps, making assumptions. What you see is not raw reality. It's your brain's best interpretation of the available sensory data, smoothed and edited to create a coherent, stable visual world. Your lungs are not symmetrical. Your right lung has 3 lobes, distinct sections separated by fissures. Your left lung has only 2 lobes. It's smaller, lighter, taking up less space in your chest cavity. This asymmetry exists to accommodate your heart, which sits slightly to the left of center, nestled between your lungs. The left lung curves around the heart, making room, sacrificing volume for anatomical efficiency. Your body doesn't prioritize perfect symmetry. It prioritizes function. Organs are arranged in the way that works best, not the way that looks most balanced in diagrams. This left-right asymmetry extends throughout your body. Your liver is mostly on the right side. Your stomach is on the left. Your spleen sits on the left, tucked under your rib cage. Even your brain, which looks symmetrical on the surface, has functional asymmetries. The left hemisphere typically handles language and analytical thinking. The right hemisphere processes spatial information and recognizes faces. These aren't absolute divisions, and the brain is far more flexible than was once believed. But the tendency towards specialization is real. Interestingly, this asymmetry is established very early in development. There are genes that determine left-right patterning in the embryo, molecular signals that tell cells which side they're on, allowing the correct organs to form in the correct places. Occasionally, these signals are disrupted, and organ placement can be reversed. A condition called situs. Someone with complete situs inversus has all their organs mirrored. Heart on the right, liver on the left. Most people with this condition are perfectly healthy. Their organs work fine. They're just arranged in reverse. Every time you recall a memory, you slightly change it. Memory is not like playing a video recording. It's more like telling a story, reconstructing the event from fragments. When you remember something, your brain reactivates the pattern of neural activity that was present when the memory was formed. But this reactivation is never perfect. Details might be missing. Context might have changed. Current emotions can color the memory. Each time you remember, you're pulling the memory apart and reassembling it. And in that process of reassembly, the memory can be altered. New information might slip in. Emotions might intensify or fade. Details might blur or sharpen. When you store the memory again after recalling it, you're storing this slightly modified version. Next time you remember, you'll be recalling the modified memory, not the original event. This process is called reconsolidation, and it explains why memories can change over time, why eyewitnesses can be confident but wrong, why two people can remember the same event very differently. Both people are telling the truth as they remember it. But memory is not a perfect record. It's a living, changing thing, influenced by everything that's happened since the original event. This malleability isn't a flaw. It's adaptive. It allows your brain to update memories with new information, to keep the past relevant to the present. Your memories aren't meant to be a historical archive. They're meant to be useful, to guide current behavior, to help you make predictions about the future based on patterns from the past. And for that purpose, a slightly flexible, slightly interpretive memory system works better than a rigid one. Your stomach produces a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks to protect itself from its own digestive acid. The acid in your stomach, primarily hydrochloric acid, has a pH of about 1.5 to 3.5, depending on how recently you've eaten. This is extremely acidic, comparable to battery acid in strength. It's necessary for breaking down tough proteins and for killing bacteria that might have entered with food. But this same acid would quickly damage your stomach's own tissues if they weren't protected. The protection comes from a thick layer of mucus secreted by specialized cells in the stomach lining. This mucus creates a physical barrier, a gel-like coating that keeps the acid away from the actual tissue underneath. But the mucus itself can be damaged by the acid and by digestive enzymes. It's gradually broken down, eroded away, so your stomach must constantly produce new mucus, replacing the old layer before it wears through. This happens completely about every 2 weeks. If this protection fails, if the mucus layer is damaged faster than it can be replaced, the stomach lining becomes exposed to acid. This causes inflammation and, eventually, ulcers, painful sores in the stomach wall. Certain bacteria, particularly Helicobacter pylori, can damage the mucus layer. Some medications, like aspirin and other NSAIDs, can thin the mucus or make the stomach lining more vulnerable. Stress, once thought to be a major cause of ulcers, probably contributes, but isn't the primary factor. The main issue is usually either bacteria or medication, disrupting the delicate balance between acid production and mucosal protection. But most of the time, the balance holds. Your stomach maintains its protective barrier, carefully managing an internal environment harsh enough to dissolve food but gentle enough not to destroy itself. You have approximately 250 million olfactory receptors in your nose, specialized neurons capable of detecting airborne molecules. Each receptor is tuned to recognize specific molecular shapes, like a lock designed for particular keys. When a scent molecule drifts into your nasal cavity and binds to a matching receptor, that receptor sends a signal to your brain, contributing to your perception of smell. Humans can distinguish about 10,000 different odors, possibly more. Some people, called supersmellers, have more sensitive olfactory systems and can detect scents at lower concentrations or make finer distinctions between similar odors. Others, due to genetics or nasal conditions, have reduced sensitivity. Interestingly, smell sensitivity is not constant. It varies throughout the day, following circadian rhythms. It can be affected by hunger, making food smells more noticeable when you're hungry. It changes with age, generally declining in sensitivity after about age 50. Some illnesses can alter smell. A loss of smell, called anosmia, can be temporary, like during a cold when nasal passages are blocked, or permanent, from damage to olfactory neurons or brain regions that process smell. Recent research has shown that smell training, deliberately and repeatedly sniffing specific scents, can sometimes help restore lost smell function, encouraging regeneration or reorganization of olfactory pathways. Smell is often underestimated as a sense, considered less important than vision or hearing, but it plays crucial roles. It helps you detect danger, like smoke or gas leaks. It influences appetite and food enjoyment. It contributes to memories and emotions, and it operates largely unconsciously, providing a constant background stream of information about your environment that you are barely aware of, but that subtly shapes your behavior and experience. Your tongue is covered with approximately 10,000 taste buds, each containing 50 to 100 taste receptor cells. These cells are remarkably short. They turn over completely about every 10 to 14 days. This rapid replacement is necessary because taste receptor cells are exposed directly to the environment inside your mouth, to hot and cold foods, to acidic and basic substances, to physical wear from chewing. They face constant assault and need frequent replacement. The taste receptor cells detect 5 basic tastes. Sweet, which often indicates energy-rich foods. Salty, which helps maintain electrolyte balance. Sour, which can signal acidity, and sometimes bitter, which often warns of potential toxins. Many poisonous plants taste bitter. And umami, a savory taste associated with glutamate and other amino acids, indicating protein-rich foods. Each taste provides information, helps you make decisions about what's safe to eat, what's nutritious, what might be harmful. But taste alone is only part of the experience of eating. Much of what we call taste is actually smell. Aroma molecules travel from your mouth up the back of your throat to your nasal cavity, stimulating olfactory receptors. When you have a stuffy nose, food tastes bland, not because your taste buds stop working, but because you've lost the smell component. Texture also matters. The crunch of fresh vegetables, the creaminess of chocolate, the fizz of carbonation, all detected by touch and temperature receptors in your mouth, all contributing to the overall experience. Even sight plays a role. Food that looks unappealing is less enjoyable even if it tastes good. Eating is multisensory, a complex integration of taste, smell, texture, temperature, appearance, and even sound, all blending together to create flavor. Your fingernails grow about 3 millimeters per month, though the rate varies slightly depending on factors like age, health, and which finger it is. Fingernails on your dominant hand tend to grow slightly faster than on your non-dominant hand, possibly because of increased blood flow from greater use. Your middle fingernail usually grows fastest, your thumbnail slowest. Toenails grow much slower, only about 1 millimeter per month, which means if you lost a toenail completely, it could take a year or more to fully regrow. Nails are made of keratin, the same tough protein that forms your hair and the outer layer of your skin. They're produced by a hidden structure called the nail matrix, located under the skin at the base of your nail, beneath the cuticle. Cells in the matrix divide and multiply, producing new nail cells that are pushed forward as more cells are created behind them. As these cells move forward, they die and harden, forming the tough, translucent nail plate that you see. The nail doesn't grow from the end being pulled forward, It grows from the base being pushed forward, like a conveyor belt. Because nails grow slowly, they can preserve a record of your health over recent months. Serious illness, nutritional deficiencies, or severe stress can temporarily disrupt nail growth, sometimes leaving horizontal lines called boas lines across the nail as a mark of when the disruption occurred. Changes in color can indicate underlying health issues. White spots, contrary to popular belief, usually don't indicate calcium deficiency but rather minor trauma to the nail matrix. Nails are more than just cosmetic. They protect the sensitive tips of your fingers and toes, help you pick up small objects, and provide subtle information about your overall health. Your spleen, tucked under your left rib cage, serves as a reservoir for blood. In emergencies, when you suddenly lose blood or need more oxygen carrying capacity, your spleen can contract, squeezing its stored blood into your circulation, providing a temporary boost. Athletes sometimes experience this during intense exercise, a phenomenon sometimes called getting a second wind. The spleen also acts as a filter for your blood. As blood flows through its spongy interior, old or damaged red blood cells are trapped and removed. Specialized immune cells inside the spleen break these cells down, salvaging useful components like iron and disposing of the rest. The spleen produces antibodies and filters bacteria from your bloodstream, playing a role in immune defense, particularly against certain encapsulated bacteria. You can live without your spleen if it's damaged or diseased and needs to be removed, a procedure called a splenectomy. Other organs, particularly the liver, can take over many of its functions. But people without a spleen are more vulnerable to certain infections and are often advised to take preventive antibiotics or vaccines. The spleen is one of those organs that quietly does important work without drawing attention to itself. Most people never think about their spleen. It doesn't hurt or ache. It just sits there, filtering blood, storing reserves, contributing to immune function, day after day, year after year. Only when it's removed or damaged do people realize how much it was doing. Your ears never stop hearing, even when you're deeply asleep. Sound waves continue to vibrate to your ear. Tiny bones in your middle ear continue to amplify these vibrations and transmit them to your inner ear. Hair cells in your cochlea continue to bend and generate electrical signals. These signals travel up the auditory nerve to your brain. What changes during sleep is how your brain processes these signals. During wakefulness, your brain actively processes sounds, identifying their sources, evaluating their importance, bringing them into conscious awareness. During sleep, most sounds are filtered out, deemed unimportant, allowed to pass without waking you. Your brain can make remarkably sophisticated judgments about sounds during sleep. Random noises, traffic, wind, appliances are usually ignored. But certain sounds break through: a baby crying, your name being called, an alarm. Sounds that might signal danger or urgency can still wake you. This ability is adaptive. Sleep is necessary for health, so you need to be able to sleep through minor, meaningless sounds. But you also need to be able to wake if there is a real threat or a need for attention. Your brain balances these needs, continuously monitoring incoming sounds even while you sleep, making split-second decisions about which sounds matter and which don't. This is why new parents often wake too. Their baby's smallest whimper while sleeping through louder noises. The brain has learned that this particular sound is important. It's also why you can sometimes sleep through loud, familiar sounds, but wake to quieter, unfamiliar ones. Novelty signals potential importance. Your stomach has 3 layers of muscle running in different directions. Most organs have only 1 or 2 muscle layers, but your stomach needs extra mechanical power for its job. The innermost layer runs obliquely, diagonally. The middle layer runs circularly, wrapping around the stomach like rings. The outermost layer runs longitudinally, up and down. This three-dimensional muscle arrangement allows your stomach to churn and mix food thoroughly, grinding it into a semi-liquid paste called chyme. The muscles contract in coordinated waves, a process called peristalsis, pushing food forward while simultaneously mixing it. The pace is carefully regulated. Food needs to spend enough time in the stomach for acid and enzymes to begin breaking it down, but not so long that digestion stalls. Different foods require different amounts of time. Liquids pass through relatively quickly. Simple carbohydrates move faster than proteins. Fats slow gastric emptying, which is why a fatty meal tends to keep you feeling full longer. The stomach has sensory receptors that detect stretch, how full it is, and chemical composition, what's in it, and uses this information to adjust the rate of emptying. When the stomach contracts and pushes a portion of chyme toward the small intestine, a muscular ring called the pyloric sphincter can open or close, controlling how much passes through. This coordination requires communication between the stomach's enteric nervous system, its own brain, and the central nervous system. Hormones also play a role. When nutrients enter the small intestine, they trigger hormones that slow gastric emptying, giving the intestines time to process what's already been delivered. Your stomach is not just a passive storage bag. It's an active, muscular organ, constantly working to prepare your food for the next stages of digestion. Your immune system can recognize and remember millions of different pathogens, an ability that forms the basis of immunity. When a virus or bacteria enters your body, certain immune cells, called B cells, respond. Each B cell is capable of producing antibodies with shaped proteins that can bind to specific parts of the invader, tagging it for destruction. Initially, your body has a vast library of B cells, each producing slightly different antibodies, each capable of recognizing different molecular patterns. When an infection occurs, the B cells that happen to produce antibodies matching the invader are activated. They begin to multiply rapidly, creating an army of identical cells, all producing the same antibody. Some of these cells become plasma cells, antibody factories pumping out thousands of antibody molecules per second, flooding your bloodstream with targeted weapons against the specific pathogen. But some become memory B cells. These cells don't produce antibodies immediately. They sit quietly in your lymph nodes and spleen, sometimes for decades, waiting. If the same pathogen ever invades again, these memory cells are ready. They can respond much faster than the original response, producing antibodies within hours instead of days, often preventing you from getting sick at all. This is immunity. It's why you typically only get chickenpox once. Why certain childhood diseases provide lifelong protection. Your immune system learned, remembered, and will respond faster next time. Vaccination works on this same principle. By exposing your immune system to a weakened or killed version of a pathogen, or even just a piece of it, you trigger the creation of memory cells without having to experience the full disease. Your immune system learns to recognize the threat, builds its memory, and stands ready without the risk of serious illness. Fact 31. Your body produces about 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva every day. This fluid is far more complex than just water. It contains enzymes that begin breaking down starches into simpler sugars, starting the process of digestion even before food reaches your stomach. It contains antimicrobial proteins like sesamin and lactoferrin, among others, that help control the bacterial population in your mouth, preventing infections and tooth decay. It contains mucins, proteins, that give saliva its slippery quality, helping you chew and swallow food comfortably. Saliva also contains minerals, particularly calcium and phosphate, that help repair tooth enamel after it's been softened by acids. Throughout the day, Your teeth are engaged in a constant cycle of demineralization and losing minerals when exposed to acidic foods or bacterial byproducts, then regaining them from saliva. This process keeps your teeth strong. Saliva production isn't constant. It increases dramatically when you smell or see food. A preparatory response called the cephalic phase of digestion. Just thinking about food can increase saliva flow. It decreases during sleep and during times of stress or fear, which is why your mouth can feel dry when you are nervous or why you wake up with dry mouth. Certain medications can reduce saliva production, leading to chronic dry mouth, a condition called xerostomia, which can increase the risk of cavities and oral infections. Most of the time, you swallow your saliva unconsciously, constantly. About once per minute, you produce it, swallow it, produce more, swallow again, in an endless cycle. The saliva doesn't go to waste. Much of it is eventually reabsorbed in your intestines. Its water and minerals your body is efficient, recycling what can be used. Fact 32. The strongest muscle in your human body, relative to its size, is the masseter, the muscle that closes your jaw. It can exert a force of up to 200 pounds on your molars. This incredible strength is necessary for chewing tough foods, for grinding down fibers, for breaking nutrients into pieces small enough to swallow. Chewing is the first mechanical stage of digestion, and your jaw muscles are built for power. They work in pairs, coordinated, pulling your lower jaw upward and slightly forward, bringing your teeth together with considerable force. The temporalis muscle, which runs along the side of your skull, assists the masseter, adding to the bite force. Together, these muscles allow you to process a wide variety of foods. More than humans, with access to cooked and processed foods, don't use their jaw muscles to their full potential. Our ancestors, eating tougher, rawer foods, developed stronger jaws and more robust chewing muscles. You can still see this difference in skull shape. Ancient human skulls often show larger attachment points for jaw muscles, indicating more powerful chewing capability. Some researchers believe the shift to soft-cooked foods may have contributed to changes in human jaw and tooth structure over evolutionary time, possibly even influencing the development of our speech capabilities. Your jaw muscles are also involved in non-eating behaviors. Grinding your teeth, a condition called bruxism, often occurs during sleep or stress. Over time, this can wear down tooth enamel and cause jaw pain. The muscles are strong enough to damage your own teeth if used excessively without the moderating influence of conscious control. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy supply, even though it accounts for only about 2% of your body weight. This disproportionate energy consumption reflects how metabolically demanding neural tissue is. Neurons are expensive to run. They must constantly maintain electrical potential across their membranes, pumping ions against concentration gradients, burning fuel just to stay ready to fire. When neurons do fire, when they transmit signals, the energy cost increases even more. Synaptic transmission, the process by which neurons communicate with each other, requires energy to package neurotransmitters, release them, then recapture and recycle them. All of this adds up. Your brain is always working, always consuming energy. Even during sleep, even during rest, neural activity continues. The brain's energy use does change with mental activity. Intense concentration, complex problem solving, learning new information, all increase glucose consumption in the relevant brain regions. Though the overall increase is relatively modest, the brain's baseline energy use is already so high that additional mental effort adds only a small increment on top. This high energy demand explains why low blood sugar affects your mind so quickly. If glucose supply drops, the brain struggles to function. You become foggy, irritable, unable to concentrate. You might feel dizzy or weak. The brain is demanding more fuel, signaling distress. Similarly, if oxygen supply is interrupted, even briefly, brain cells begin to die within minutes. The brain cannot store energy reserves the way muscles can. It depends on constant delivery of glucose and oxygen from the blood. This dependency makes brain extremely vulnerable to disruptions in circulation, but it also makes the brain a top priority for your cardiovascular system. The human eye can detect a candle flame from up to 30 miles away on a dark, clear night, assuming there are no obstacles blocking the view. This extraordinary sensitivity to light is due to specialized photoreceptor cells in your retina called rods, while cones, the other type of photoreceptor, handle color vision and work best in bright light. Rods are designed for low light conditions. You have about 90 million rods in each eye, far outnumbering your roughly 5 million cones. Rods contain a light-sensitive pigment called rhodopsin. When even a single photon of light strikes a rhodopsin molecule, it triggers a cascade of chemical reactions that amplifies the signal, eventually creating an electrical impulse that travels to your brain. This amplification is so effective that, under ideal conditions, a rod cell can respond to a single photon. Of course, your brain doesn't register every single photon as seeing something. There's noise in the system, random neural activity, and the brain has to filter out false signals. But the sensitivity is there, at the edge of physical possibility. In darkness, your pupils dilate, allowing more light to enter your eye. Your eyes also undergo a process called dark adaptation, which can take 20 minutes or more. Chemical changes in the rods increase their sensitivity. The result is that, after spending time in complete darkness, your night vision becomes remarkably acute. This is why astronomers often use red lights, which don't trigger the chemical changes in rods, allowing them to maintain dark adaptation while still being able to see well enough to work. When you go from darkness to bright light, rods become overwhelmed and stop functioning. Cones take over. This is why stepping into sunlight after being in a dark room is initially painful and blinding, and why colors seem washed out for a moment before your vision adjusts. Your taste buds aren't confined to your tongue. They're also scattered across the roof of your mouth, your cheeks, your throat, even the upper part of your esophagus. This distribution allows you to experience taste throughout the process of eating, from the moment food enters your mouth until it's swallowed. Different regions have slightly different sensitivities. The traditional tongue map, which claim that different parts of the tongue detects different tastes, is largely a myth. All areas of your tongue can detect all 5 basic tastes, though there may be slight variations in sensitivity. The broader distribution of taste buds means that even if part of your tongue is damaged, you don't lose taste entirely. The system has redundancy. Taste perception is also influenced heavily by temperature. Many substances taste stronger at certain temperatures. Ice cream tastes sweeter when slightly melted than when frozen solid. Coffee and tea release different flavor compounds at different temperatures. Your taste receptors themselves can be affected by temperature, responding differently to hot versus cold stimuli. This is part of why the same food can taste different when eaten cold versus hot. Your taste system evolved to help you make decisions about food. Sweet tastes generally indicate energy-rich foods, useful for survival. Bitter tastes warn of potential toxins, as many poisonous plants are bitter. Sour can indicate unripe fruit or spoilage. Salty helps you find essential electrolytes. Umami indicates protein. These aren't perfect correlations. An evolution occurred in a very different food environment than the one we live in now, but the basic system still guides your preferences and aversions. When you blush, when blood rushes to your face in response to embarrassment or strong emotion, your stomach lining also reddens. Blushing is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system, the part of your nervous system that manages fight or flight responses. When activated, it causes blood vessels throughout your body to dilate, increasing blood flow. This happens most visibly in your face and neck, where skin is thin and blood vessels are close to the surface, creating the characteristic red flush. But the same process is occurring internally. Blood vessels in your stomach lining dilate as well. Your stomach blushes along with your face, though nobody can see it. This full-body vascular response is why blushing feels warm, why you might feel flushed all over. It's not just your face, it's your entire cardiovascular system responding to emotion. Blushing is unique to humans. Other animals don't blush, at least not visibly. Why humans evolved this trait isn't entirely clear. Some research suggests it's a social signal, an uncontrollable display of emotion that communicates sincerity or remorse. Because you can't fake a blush, it serves as an honest signal of your emotional state. Others think it might just be a byproduct of having complex emotional lives and thin facial skin. Whatever its evolutionary purpose, blushing is a reminder of how deeply connected your mind and body are. An emotion, a thought, a social situation can trigger a cascade of physiological changes. Visible proof that psychology and physiology aren't separate domains. You have approximately 640 skeletal muscles in your body, though the exact number can vary depending on how they recounted and whether small variant muscles are included. These muscles work in pairs, one contracting while the other relaxes, creating smooth, controlled movement. When you bend your elbow, your bicep contracts while your tricep relaxes. When you straighten your arm, the opposite happens. This antagonistic pairing allows for precise control. If both muscles contracted simultaneously, your arm would stiffen, locked in place. By carefully balancing contraction and relaxation, your nervous system creates fluid motion. Muscles make up about 40% of your body weight, more in people who are muscular, less in people with more body fat. They're metabolically expensive tissue, burning calories, even at rest. This is why muscle mass affects your basal metabolic rate, the number of calories you burn just staying alive. Muscles also generate heat. When you shiver, your muscles are contracting rapidly to produce warmth when your core temperature drops. Most of your muscles are under voluntary control, meaning you can decide to move them. But even voluntary muscles have reflexes, automatic responses that don't require conscious thought. If you touch something hot, your hand jerks away before you're even fully aware of the pain. This reflex arc bypasses your brain, with the signal traveling only as far as your spinal cord before the return command to contract the muscle is sent. It's faster than conscious reaction, protecting you from injury. Your body creates and destroys about 300 billion cells every single day, roughly 1% of all your cells. This represents an enormous turnover, a constant cycle of birth and death happening invisibly within you. Different tissues renew at different rates. The lining of your intestines replaces itself every few days, as cells are constantly being scraped away and need rapid replacement. Your skin cells live for a few weeks before being shed. Red blood cells last about 4 months. Some white blood cells might last only hours or days, while others can persist for years. Neurons, particularly in your brain, can last your entire lifetime. Though even here, some replacement and regeneration can occur in specific regions. This constant turnover means that, at the cellular level, you are not the same person you were months or years ago. Most of your cells have been completely replaced. The exceptions are long-lived cells like neurons and, to some extent, heart muscle cells. But even in these tissues, the molecules within the cells are constantly being recycled and replaced. Proteins are broken down and rebuilt. Membranes are refreshed. The atoms themselves cycled through, replaced by new atoms from the food you eat and the air you breathe. In a very real sense, you are a pattern that persists, a wave that maintains its shape even as the water molecules that form it constantly change. Your identity, your continuity as a person, doesn't depend on having the same physical matter. It depends on maintaining the same organization, the same structure, the same pattern of connections and relationships between parts. Your small intestine, where most nutrient absorption occurs, is approximately 20 feet long, though this varies between individuals. Despite being called small, it's actually longer than the large intestine. The name refers to diameter, not length. The small intestine is about 1 inch in diameter, while the large intestine is about 3 inches. This long, coiled tube is folded and packed efficiently into your abdominal cavity, fitting into a surprisingly small space. The inner surface is not smooth. It's covered with millions of tiny, finger-like projections called villi, each about 1 millimeter long. These villi dramatically increase the surface area available for absorption. Each villus, in turn, is covered with even smaller projections called microvilli, creating what's called the brush border. If you could flatten out your small intestine completely, including all the folds, villi, and microvilli, the total surface area would be enormous, roughly 200 to 400 square meters, about the size of a tennis court. All of this surface is dedicated to extracting nutrients from your food. As partially digested food passes through the small intestine, nutrients are absorbed across the intestinal wall into the bloodstream. Different nutrients are absorbed in different ways. Some pass directly through cells. Others are actively transported by specialized carrier proteins. Fats are packaged into tiny droplets and transported through the lymphatic system before entering the blood. The small intestine also produces enzymes and receives enzymes and bile from the pancreas and liver, further breaking down food into absorbable molecules. By the time food reaches the end of the small intestine, most nutrients have been extracted. What remains, mostly water, fiber, and waste, moves into the large intestine. You shed approximately 30 to 40,000 dead skin cells every minute. Over the course of a year, that adds up to about 8 to 9 pounds of skin. Much of household dust is composed of these shed cells. You're constantly leaving tiny pieces of yourself wherever you go, a trail of cells that have completed their life cycle and been replaced. This shedding is not a flaw or a sign of poor health. It's a normal, necessary process. Your skin is constantly exposed to the environment, to friction, to chemicals, to microbes. The outer layer takes the brunt of this assault. Cells on the surface become damaged, flattened, dried out. They need to be removed and replaced with fresh cells from below. The shedding is so constant and so invisible that you're generally unaware of it. Occasionally, in dry conditions or with certain skin conditions, dead cells can accumulate visibly, appearing as flakes or dry patches. But most of the time, the cells simply drift away, individually. Forensic scientists can use shed skin cells for identification. When you touch an object, you leave behind not just fingerprints, but also cells containing your DNA. This has become a valuable tool in criminal investigations, allowing suspects to be identified from cells left at a crime scene. But it also raises privacy concerns, as you're continuously shedding identifiable genetic material wherever you go. Your skin is a boundary between self and environment, but it's a boundary that's constantly being renewed, constantly being redefined, as old cells are shed and new ones take their place. Your brain generates enough electrical activity to power a small light bulb. Neurons communicate through electrical impulses called action, but when billions of neurons fire in coordinated patterns, the cumulative electrical activity is measurable outside your skull. An EEG electroencephalogram detects this activity using electrodes placed on your scalp. The electrical patterns change depending on what your brain is doing. During deep sleep, brain waves are slow and synchronized. During focused mental activity, they're fast and desynchronized. Different mental states produce different electrical signatures. Researchers can use these patterns to diagnose certain conditions, study brain development, and investigate consciousness itself. The electricity isn't just a byproduct, it's how neurons function. Information in your nervous system is encoded as electrical impulses traveling along neural axons and at synapses, converted briefly into chemical signals before being transformed back into electrical impulses. In the next neuron, this electrochemical communication happens billions of times per second throughout your brain and nervous system. The speed is impressive. Some neurons can transmit signals at over 250 miles per hour. Others, particularly those that don't need to convey urgent information, transmit more slowly. Your thoughts, your sensations, your memories, your decisions, all arise from this electrical activity, from patterns of firing neurons, creating emergent complexity far beyond what any single neuron could produce. Consciousness itself, that subjective experience of being you, somehow emerges from these electrical patterns, though exactly how remains one of the deepest mysteries in science. The average person will walk about 75,000 miles in their lifetime, roughly 3 times the circumference of Earth. Your feet carry you everywhere, supporting your entire body weight, absorbing the impact of each step. The human foot is an engineering marvel. Each foot contains 26 bones, 33 joints, and more than 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments, all working together to provide a stable platform, flexible enough to adapt to uneven terrain but strong enough to launch you into motion. The arch of your foot acts as a spring, storing and releasing energy with each step, making walking more efficient. When you walk, your foot rolls from heel to toe, distributing force, absorbing shock, providing push-off. When you run, the impact forces increase dramatically, several times your body weight with each stride. Your feet handled this day after day, year after year. They adapt to the shoes you wear, to the surfaces you walk on, sometimes developing calluses in areas of high pressure, thickening the skin to provide extra protection. Problems with your feet can affect your entire body. Poor foot mechanics can lead to knee pain, hip pain, even back pain, as the body compensates for imbalances. This is why proper footwear matters, why foot care isn't frivolous. Your feet are your foundation. They deserve attention and care. Your lungs contain approximately 1,500 miles of airways. If you stretch them all out end to end, these airways form a branching tree, starting with the trachea, dividing into bronchi, then smaller bronchioles, branching again and again, becoming progressively finer until they end in the alveoli, the tiny air sacs where gas exchange occurs. This branching structure is called the bronchial tree, and it serves multiple purposes. It distributes air evenly throughout the lungs. It slows the air down, reducing the force with which air strikes the delicate alveolar membranes. It warms and humidifies incoming air, protecting lung tissue from the shock of cold, dry air. The airways are lined with mucus and tiny hair-like structures called cilia that wave in coordinated patterns, sweeping mucus and trapped particles upward toward your throat, where you swallow them without noticing. This mucociliary escalator is part of your lungs' defense system, constantly cleaning the airways, removing dust, pollen, bacteria, anything that shouldn't be there. Smoking damages cilia, paralyzing them, which is why smokers often develop chronic cough. Without functioning cilia, mucus accumulates, and the only way to clear it is by coughing. The airways can also constrict or dilate in response to various signals. During exercise, they dilate to allow more airflow. During an asthma attack, they constrict, sometimes severely, making breathing difficult. Medications for asthma work by relaxing these airway muscles, opening the passages, making breathing easier. You have taste receptors in your intestines, though they don't create the sensation of taste. These receptors detect nutrients, particularly sugars and amino acids, and send signals that influence digestion and appetite. When your intestines sense the presence of sugar, they release hormones that help regulate blood glucose levels and signal satiety to your brain. Similarly, detecting amino acids triggers responses that optimize protein digestion and absorption. This intestinal sensing system is part of why eating protein can make you feel fuller longer. The hormones released in response to detecting protein in the intestines signal to your brain that you've consumed adequate nutrients. Artificial sweeteners can sometimes trigger these intestinal receptors without providing calories, which may be part of why they don't fully satisfy appetite despite tasting sweet. Your gut is not a passive tube. It's an intelligent organ, constantly sampling what passes through, analyzing composition, sending feedback to the brain and other organs, adjusting digestive secretions and intestinal movement based on what it detects. This gut-brain communication goes both ways. Your brain influences gut function through the vagus nerve and hormones. Your gut influences brain function through neural signals and through chemicals produced by intestinal cells and gut bacteria. This bidirectional communication is called the gut-brain axis, and it's increasingly recognized as important for both physical and mental health. What you eat affects not just your body, but also your mood, your stress levels, possibly even your mental clarity and emotional resilience. The acid in your stomach, hydrochloric acid, has a pH between 1 and 2, making it one of the strongest acids in your body. To put that in perspective, it's about as acidic as battery acid, or the acid used to clean swimming pools. This extreme acidity serves multiple purposes. It helps denature proteins, unfolding them so digestive enzymes can access and break them down. It activates pepsinogen, an inactive enzyme precursor, converting it to pepsin, the active enzyme that begins protein digestion. It also kills most bacteria and other microorganisms that enter with food, serving as a chemical barrier against infection. Some bacteria have evolved to survive in this harsh environment. Helicobacter pylori, for example, produces an enzyme that neutralizes acid in its immediate vicinity, creating a more hospitable microenvironment. This bacterium is one of the primary causes of stomach ulcers and has been linked to stomach cancer, though most people infected with it never develop these problems. Your stomach protects itself from its own acid with multiple mechanisms. The thick mucus layer provides a physical barrier. Bicarbonate, a base, is secreted into the mucus, neutralizing any acid that penetrates. The epithelial cells lining the stomach are tightly joined, preventing acid from seeping between them. And, as mentioned earlier, these cells are rapidly replaced, so any that do become damaged are quickly shed and replaced with fresh cells. When this protection fails, the acid can damage the stomach lining, causing gastritis or ulcers, painful erosions in the stomach wall. Your body operates on an internal biological clock, the circadian rhythm, which runs on approximately a 24-hour cycle. This clock regulates not just sleep and wakefulness, but also body temperature, hormone release, blood pressure, digestion, and even reaction times. Almost every cell in your body has its own molecular clock, a set of genes that turn on and off in rhythmic patterns. These cellular clocks are synchronized by a master clock in your brain, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which sits just above where your optic nerves cross. This master clock is primarily reset by light. When light enters your eyes in the morning, it signals to the clock that it's daytime, synchronizing your internal rhythms with the external day-night cycle. In the absence of light cues, your circadian rhythm doesn't stop. It continues running, but it free runs at its natural period, which for most people is slightly longer than 24 hours. Closer to 24 hours and 11 minutes. This is why, when people are isolated from time cues, their sleep schedule tends to drift later each day. Light exposure keeps the clock entrained to the actual 24-hour day, disrupting this rhythm through shift work, irregular sleep schedules, or frequent time zone changes can have significant health consequences. Chronic circadian misalignment has been linked to increased risk of obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and mood disorders. Your body wants consistency, regular patterns, light during the day and darkness at night. You can't actually taste food without smell contributing significantly to the experience. What we commonly call taste is mostly flavor, a combination of true taste, sweet, salty, sour, bitter, umami detected by taste buds, and aroma detected by olfactory receptors in your nose. When you chew food, volatile aroma molecules are released and travel up the back of your throat to your nasal cavity in a process called retronasal olfaction. This is different from smelling something by sniffing, which is orthonasal olfaction. The brain treats these two routes differently, but both contribute to the overall experience of eating. When you have a stuffy nose from a cold, retronasal olfaction is blocked. Aroma molecules can't reach your olfactory receptors. Food loses most of its flavor, becoming bland, even though your taste buds are working perfectly. This is why people often lose their appetite when sick. It's not that food doesn't taste sweet or salty. It's that it lacks the rich, complex flavors that make eating enjoyable. Some people lose their sense of smell permanently, a condition called anosmia, due to head injury, infection, or neurodegenerative disease. For them, eating becomes a much less pleasurable experience, often reduced to texture and basic tastes. The psychological impact can be significant, as food is deeply tied to culture, memory, and social connection. The good news is that smell can sometimes be repeatedly exposing yourself to specific scents, actively paying attention to them, can sometimes help rebuild olfactory sensitivity, encouraging dormant or damaged receptors to function again, or training the brain to better interpret the signals it receives. Your pupils dilate, growing larger when you look at someone you find attractive. This response is involuntary, controlled by the autonomic nervous system, which manages functions you don't consciously control, like heart rate, digestion, and pupil size. Pupil dilation in response to attraction is thought to be related to arousal, both psychological and physiological. When you're interested in something or someone, your sympathetic nervous system activates slightly, and one of its effects is pupil dilation. Interestingly, people also find faces with dilated pupils more attractive, though most people aren't consciously aware of this preference. In some studies, when participants were shown identical images of faces, one with normal pupils and one with digitally enlarged pupils, they consistently rated the face with larger pupils as more attractive, without being able to explain why. This creates a feedback loop of sorts. You find someone attractive, your pupils dilate, they unconsciously register your dilated pupils as a sign of interest, potentially increasing their attraction to you. This is part of why eye contact can feel so intimate and revealing. Your pupils expose your interest, your emotional state, without you being able to consciously control them. In the past, some women used drops made from belladonna, a plant that causes pupil dilation, to make themselves appear more attractive. The plant's name literally means beautiful woman in Italian, referencing this cosmetic use. You have approximately 600 lymph nodes distributed throughout your body, concentrated in areas like your neck, armpits, groin, and abdomen. These small, bean-shaped structures are part of your lymphatic system. a network that parallels your circulatory system but carries lymph instead of blood. Lymph is a clear fluid that leaks out of blood capillaries into surrounding tissues, delivering nutrients and picking up waste products. This fluid is collected by lymphatic vessels and filtered through lymph nodes before being returned to the bloodstream. Inside each lymph node are specialized immune cells, lymphocytes, that monitor the lymph passing through, looking for signs of infection or abnormal cells. When these cells detect a threat, they multiply rapidly, which is why lymph nodes swell during illness. Swollen lymph nodes in your neck during a cold are a sign that your immune system is actively responding to the infection. The lymphatic system also plays a crucial role in fat absorption. In your intestines, tiny lymphatic vessels, called lacteals, absorb fat molecules and fat-soluble vitamins, transporting them through the lymphatic system before they enter the bloodstream. Without this route, you wouldn't be able to absorb these nutrients effectively. Unlike your circulatory system, which has the heart to pump blood, the lymphatic system has no central pump. Lymph is moved through the vessels by muscle contractions, breathing movements, and compression from surrounding tissue. This is part of why physical movement is important for immune function. When you're sedentary, lymph flow slows, potentially reducing the efficiency of immune surveillance. Your hair grows faster in warm weather than in cold. Blood circulation to the skin increases in warmer temperatures, delivering more nutrients to hair follicles, which speeds up cell division and hair production. This is why you might notice slightly faster hair growth in summer. Interestingly, hair growth can also be affected by hormones, stress, nutrition, and overall health. During pregnancy, many women experience thicker, faster-growing hair due to hormonal changes. After giving birth, hormone levels shift again, and some of this hair is shed, which can be alarming but is completely normal. Stress can push hair follicles into the resting phase prematurely, leading to increased shedding several months later. This delayed response is why people sometimes experience hair loss a few months after a stressful event, even though the stressor itself has passed. Nutritional deficiencies, particularly in iron, protein, or certain vitamins, can also slow hair growth or increase shedding. Hair is not a priority tissue for your body. If nutrients are scarce, your body will direct them to more essential organs, and hair growth will slow or stop. This is why people with eating disorders or severe nutritional deficiencies often experience hair thinning. Each hair on your head grows at a rate of about ½ an inch per month, though this varies by individual and by which hair it is. Scalp hair grows faster than body hair. The growth rate also varies slightly across your scalp, though the differences are usually not noticeable. When you dream, during the stage of sleep, called REM, rapid eye movement, your body paralyzes most of your voluntary muscles. This paralysis, called rematonia, prevents you from acting out your dreams. Your brain disconnects the signals that would normally move your muscles, leaving them temporarily unresponsive. Only essential muscles like your diaphragm, which controls breathing, and muscles that control eye movement, remain active. This is why your eyes move during REM sleep, darting back and forth as if you're watching something, even though your eyelids are closed. Occasionally, this paralysis system doesn't work perfectly. If it fails to engage properly, people can move during dreams, a condition called REM sleep behavior disorder. They might thrash, kick, even get out of bed, acting out dream content, sometimes injuring themselves or their bed partners. More commonly, people wake up before the paralysis has fully worn off, experiencing sleep paralysis. You regain consciousness but can't move, can't speak, sometimes can't even open your eyes for a few seconds or minutes. It can be frightening, particularly if accompanied by hallucinations, which sometimes occur during the transition between sleep and wakefulness. But it's harmless and temporary. The paralysis always wears off, though the experience can be unsettling. Understanding what's happening can make it less scary. You're simply waking up before your brain has fully reactivated voluntary muscle control. Your bones are constantly being remodeled in a process that involves specialized cells called osteoclasts. And osteoclasts dissolve old bone, breaking down the mineral matrix and releasing calcium into the bloodstream. Osteoblasts build new bone, laying down collagen fibers and depositing minerals to create fresh, strong bone tissue. This remodeling process serves multiple purposes. It repairs microdamage that accumulates in bones from everyday use. It allows bones to adapt to changing mechanical loads, becoming stronger in areas that experience more stress. It also helps regulate blood calcium levels, releasing calcium from bones when blood levels are low and storing it when levels are high. In childhood and adolescence, bone formation outpaces bone breakdown, and bones grow larger and denser. Peak bone mass is typically reached in your late 20s or early 30s. After that, the balance gradually shifts. Bone breakdown begins to outpace formation slightly, and bone density slowly decreases with age TC's normal. However, in some people, particularly postmenopausal women, due to declining estrogen levels, bone loss accelerates, leading to osteoporosis, a condition where bones become fragile and prone to fractures. Weight-bearing exercise, adequate calcium and vitamin D intake, and certain medications can help maintain bone density. Interestingly, astronauts in space experience accelerated bone loss because the absence of gravity removes the mechanical stress that normally stimulates bone maintenance. Upon returning to Earth, they must work to rebuild lost bone density. The human body emits visible light, a phenomenon called bioluminescence. You are, quite literally, glowing right now, though the light you produce is far too faint for human eyes to detect without special equipment. Researchers using extremely sensitive cameras have detected this glow, finding that it's strongest in the late afternoon and weakest late at night. The light emission follows a daily rhythm, likely linked to metabolic processes. The glow is produced by chemical reactions in your cells, byproducts of oxidation processes. When certain molecules are broken down, they emit tiny amounts of light. This isn't unique to humans. Many organisms produce bioluminescence, though usually much more brightly and for specific purposes like attracting mates or luring prey. In humans, the glow serves no known function. It's simply a side effect of being alive, of running the chemical reactions that keep your cells functioning. The brightest areas tend to be the face, particularly the forehead and cheeks, possibly because these areas have higher metabolic activity or blood flow. The intensity of the glow can vary based on your activities, diet, and health status. While this biological glow isn't visible to the naked eye, it's a beautiful reminder that you are a chemical system, constantly transforming matter and energy, and in the process, creating light. Your appendix, long dismissed as a useless evolutionary remnant, actually serves a function as a safe house for beneficial gut bacteria. When an illness, particularly a severe gastrointestinal infection, wipes out much of the bacterial population in your intestines, bacteria residing in your appendix can survive and later recolonize your gut. The appendix is a narrow, closed-ended tube extending from the large intestine, which makes it less hospitable for pathogens, but suitable for beneficial bacteria to persist. Research has shown that people who have had their appendix removed are more likely to experience recurrent Clostridium difficile infections, possibly because they lack this bacterial reservoir. The appendix also contains significant immune tissue and may play a role in immune function, particularly during childhood when the immune system is still developing. However, the appendix is not essential. Millions of people live healthy lives without one, either because it was removed surgically due to appendicitis or because they were born without one. The body adapts. Other parts of the intestines maintain bacterial populations, and immune function continues. So while the appendix does have functions, it's not critical for survival. Evolution has left us with many features that are helpful, but not absolutely necessary. Vestiges of our evolutionary past that still provide some benefit but can be lost without dire consequences. You have the same number of neck vertebrae as a giraffe, despite the dramatic difference in neck length. Both humans and giraffes have 7 cervical vertebrae. The difference is that each giraffe vertebra is much longer, up to 10 inches, compared to human neck vertebrae, which are only about an inch tall. This similarity across vastly different mammals speaks to evolutionary conservation, to the fact that the basic body plan is shared and maintained across species, with modifications to the size and shape of parts, rather than changing the fundamental number. This pattern of 7 cervical vertebrae is true for almost all mammals, from tiny mice to enormous whales, from short-necked humans to long-necked giraffes. There are a few exceptions. Sloths have anywhere from 6 to 9, and manatees have only 6, but the overwhelming majority stick to 7. This suggests that there's some developmental constraint, some genetic reason why changing the number of neck vertebrae is difficult or just during embryonic development. The number and identity of vertebrae are determined by specific genes. Changing the number might disrupt other developmental processes, leading to problems elsewhere in the body. Evolution works with what it has, modifying existing structures rather than creating entirely new ones from scratch. Your neck, with its 7 vertebrae, is built on the same blueprint as a giraffe's, just scaled differently. Your brain can process an image that your eyes see for as little as 30 milliseconds. You can glance at a complex scene, a crowded room, a busy street, and immediately understand what you're looking at. This rapid visual processing is crucial for survival, allowing you to recognize threats, identify opportunities, navigate the obstacles, all in the blink of an eye. In experiments, researchers have flashed images on a screen for just 30 milliseconds and found that people can still identify the basic gist of what was in the image. You might not catch every detail, but you can tell whether it's indoors or outdoors, whether there are people present, whether it's a dangerous situation. This speed is achieved through parallel processing. Your visual system doesn't analyze images pixel by pixel. It processes many aspects simultaneously, extracting features like edges, colors, motion, and shapes all at once. Different areas of your visual cortex specialize in different features. Some regions are particularly good at detecting faces. Others focus on movement. Still others analyze color or texture. All of these specialized processors work in parallel, sending their results to higher brain areas that integrate the information into a coherent perception. This distributed, parallel architecture is what allows your brain to be so fast. Vision feels effortless and instantaneous, but it's the result of incredibly sophisticated, rapid neural computation happening unconsciously in the background. Every person has a unique tongue print, just like fingerprints. The texture, the pattern of ridges, the shape, the distribution of taste buds. All of these create a distinctive pattern that could theoretically be used for identification. However, tongue prints are far less practical than fingerprints for identification purposes. Your tongue is inside your mouth, making it harder to access an image. It's also wet, covered in saliva, which complicates image capture, and people are generally less willing to stick their tongues out for identification than they are to press a finger on a scanner. But the uniqueness is real. If technology and social acceptance aligned, tongue prints could serve as a biometric identifier. This uniqueness reflects the complexity of biological development. Even identical twins, who share the same DNA, don't have identical tongue prints or identical fingerprints. Development involves random variation at the cellular level, slight differences in growth rates and patterns that accumulate over time, creating unique features even when the genetic instructions are the same. You are unique down to the smallest details, patterns that are yours alone. Your body produces enough heat in 30 minutes to boil a gallon of water. This seems like an enormous amount of heat, and it is. Metabolism is the process of converting food into energy, and a significant portion of that energy is released as heat. Even at rest, your body is generating heat constantly. Your basal metabolic rate, the energy you burn just staying alive, is substantial. Add any activity, walking, thinking, digesting food, and heat production increases. This is why rooms full of people feel warm. It's not just body heat radiating into the air. It's heat generated by metabolism, by billions of cells burning fuel. Your body must regulate this heat carefully. Too much, and you overheat, potentially leading to heat stroke. Too little, and you become hypothermic. Your hypothalamus, a region in your brain, acts as a thermostat, monitoring your core temperature and triggering responses to keep it stable. When you're too hot, blood vessels in your skin dilate, radiating heat into the environment. You sweat, and evaporation cools you. When you're too cold, vessels constrict, preserving heat. You shiver, generating warmth through muscle activity. Brown fat, if you have enough of it, can burn fuel specifically to produce heat. All of these mechanisms work together to maintain a stable core temperature around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, though individual variation is normal. Your femur, the thigh bone, is the longest and strongest bone in your body. It can support up to 30 times your body weight before fracturing. This incredible strength is necessary because of the enormous forces exerted on the femur during activities like running and jumping. When you run, the impact force on your leg can be several times your body weight with each stride. When you're doomed, the landing force can be even greater. The femur must withstand these repeated high-impact loads without breaking. Its strength comes from its structure. The outer layer is dense, compact bone, hard and strong. The interior has a honeycomb-like structure of trabecular bone, arranged along lines of stress to maximize strength. While minimizing weight, the femur is also slightly curved and angled, bringing the knee under the body's center of mass, which improves balance and efficiency of movement. At the top, the femoral head, a smooth, rounded ball, fits into the hip socket, forming a balance socket joint that allows a wide range of motion. At the bottom, the femur expands into two condyles that form part of the knee joint. Muscles attach to various points along the femur, pulling on it to create movement. The femurous design is so effective that engineers study it when designing structures that need to combine strength and lightness. Despite its strength, the femur can break, usually from severe trauma, like car accidents or falls from height. In elderly people with osteoporosis, even a fall from standing height can fracture the weakened bone. You lose about 50 to 100 hairs from your head every day. This might sound alarming, but with approximately 100,000 hairs on your scalp, losing 100 per day represents only a tiny fraction, about 0.1%. Each hair is going through its own growth cycle, independent of the others. At any given time, about 90% of your hairs are in the growth phase, actively. About 1% are in a brief transitional phase, and about 10% are in a resting phase, no longer growing, just sitting in the follicle until they're eventually shed. After shedding, the follicle rests briefly, then begins producing a new hair. This continuous cycle of growth, rest, and shedding is why you lose all your hair at once, and why hair loss from normal shedding does lead to baldness. However, certain conditions can disrupt this cycle. Severe stress illness, hormonal changes, nutritional deficiencies, or certain medications can push more hairs into the resting phase prematurely, leading to increased shedding several months later. This type of hair loss, called telogen effluvium, is usually temporary. Once the underlying cause is addressed, hair growth returns to normal. Pattern baldness, on the other hand, is primarily genetic and hormonal, affecting hair follicles' sensitivity to certain hormones, causing them to shrink over time and produce thinner, shorter hairs until they eventually stop producing visible hair altogether. Your brain is approximately 73 to 78% water by weight. This high water content is crucial for brain function. Neurons need water to maintain their structure, to generate electrical signals, to transport nutrients and waste products. Even mild dehydration, loss of just 1 to 2% of body water, can impair cognitive function. You might experience difficulty concentrating, reduced short-term memory, slower reaction times, and mood changes. Your brain is particularly sensitive to dehydration because it can't store water. It depends on a constant supply from the bloodstream. When you're dehydrated, blood volume decreases slightly, which can reduce blood flow to the brain, limiting oxygen and nutrient delivery. The brain also requires a very specific chemical environment to function properly, with precise concentrations of electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and chloride. These electrolytes are dissolved in water. Changes in hydration can alter these concentrations, affecting how neurons communicate. This is why drinking water can sometimes help with headaches and mental fog. You're restoring the brain's preferred chemical environment, improving blood flow, and allowing neurons to function optimally. Chronic, mild dehydration, which is common in people who simply don't drink enough water throughout the day, can contribute to persistent fatigue and reduced cognitive performance. The solution is simple. Drink water regularly before you feel intensely thirsty. The average person will produce enough saliva in their lifetime to fill the swimming pools. This estimate is based on producing about 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva per day over a lifespan of 70 to 80 years. That adds up to roughly 23,000 to 34,000 liters, which is approximately 6,000 to 9,000 gallons, enough to fill 2 small swimming pools. Saliva production is continuous, happening every minute of every day, though the rate varies. It slows during sleep, increases dramatically when you eat, and can increase just from thinking about food. Saliva is more than 99% water, but that remaining less than 1% contains important substances. Enzymes, like amylase, begin breaking down starches. Mucins provide lubrication. Antibodies and antimicrobial compounds protect against infection. Minerals help remineralize tooth enamel. Saliva also helps you taste food, dissolving food molecules so they can reach taste receptors, and it neutralizes acids, protecting your teeth from decay. Without adequate saliva, eating becomes difficult and uncomfortable. Swallowing is harder, taste is diminished. Risk of cavities increases dramatically. Some medications and medical conditions can reduce saliva production, leading to chronic dry mouth, a condition that significantly affects quality of life. The body's ability to produce this essential fluid continuously, reliably, for a lifetime is yet another quiet miracle of human biology. Your skin is your body's heaviest organ, accounting for about 16% of your total body weight. For an average adult, that's approximately 20 pounds of skin. It's also your largest organ in terms of surface area, covering about 20 square feet, roughly the size of a blanket. Skin is far more than a passive covering. It's a complex, multi-layered organ with numerous functions. It provides a waterproof barrier, preventing excessive water loss and keeping external water from flooding in. It protects against mechanical injury, ultraviolet radiation, temperature extremes, and pathogen invasion. It contains sensory receptors that detect touch, pressure, vibration, temperature, and pain, providing constant feedback about the environment. It helps regulate body temperature through sweating and changes in blood flow. It synthesizes vitamin D when exposed to sunlight. It even plays a role in immune function, with specialized skin cells that can detect and respond to pathogens. Your skin is constantly renewing itself. The outer layer, the epidermis, is entirely replaced about every 28 days. Deeper layers, the dermis and hypodermis, contain blood vessels, nerves, hair follicles, sweat glands, and fat cells. These layers provide cushioning, insulation, and structural support. Taking care of your skin means protecting it from excessive sun exposure, keeping it moisturized, and watching for changes that might indicate skin cancer or other problems. It's an organ that works hard every day and deserves attention and care. You have approximately 3 times more bacterial cells in your body than human cells. Recent estimates suggest you have around 30 trillion human cells and close to 40 trillion bacterial cells. Though these numbers are rough estimates and can vary considerably between individuals and even within the same individual over time, these bacteria are not parasites. They're symbionts, partners in a mutually beneficial relationship that's been evolving for millions of years. They live primarily in your intestines, but also in your skin, in your mouth, in your nose, colonizing virtually every surface that's exposed to the environment. Your gut bacteria help digest fibers that your own enzymes can't break down, producing short-chain fatty acids that nourish the cells lining your intestine. They produce vitamins, particularly vitamin K, and some B vitamins. They compete with harmful bacteria, taking up space and resources, making it harder for pathogens to establish themselves. They train your immune system, exposing it to non-threatening microbes, teaching it to distinguish between harmless organisms and dangerous ones. Disruption of this bacterial community through antibiotics, illness, or diet changes can have wide-ranging effects. It can lead to digestive problems, increased susceptibility to infection, possibly even affecting mood and mental health through the gut-brain axis. Researchers are exploring ways to manipulate the microbiome therapeutically, using probiotics, fecal transplants, or targeted prebiotics to restore healthy bacterial communities and treat disease. You are not a single organism. You're an ecosystem, and your health depends on the health of the community living within you. Your ears and nose never stop growing throughout your life, while most of your body stops growing after adolescence. Cartilage, the flexible connective tissue that makes up your outer ears and the tip of your nose, continues to grow slowly throughout your lifetime. This isn't exactly growth in the sense of new cells being added. It's more that gravity pulls on the cartilage, stretching it slightly, and the cartilage itself can become larger as the cells within it produce more matrix, the non-cellular material that gives cartilage its structure. Additionally, skin loses elasticity with age, and the tissue around the ears and nose can sag, making these features appear larger. The effect is subtle year to year, but over decades, it's noticeable. This is why elderly people often have larger ears and noses compared to photographs from their youth. It's a normal part of aging, not a sign of disease or abnormality. Interestingly, your earlobes, which don't contain cartilage, also tend to elongate with age, primarily due to gravity and loss of skin elasticity. Many people develop longer earlobes as they get older, which is why earlobe reduction surgery has become a cosmetic option for some. But for most, these changes are simply accepted as natural signs of a life Your heart beats approximately 100,000 times per day, pumping about 2,000 gallons of blood through your circulatory system. Over the course of a year, that's roughly 73 million heartbeats and about 700,000 gallons of blood. Over an average lifetime of 70 years, your heart will beat more than 2.5 billion times and pump over 50 million gallons. These numbers are almost incomprehensibly large. Your heart starts beating about 3 weeks after conception, long before you're born. Long before you take your first breath, it continues, never stopping, never resting, until the moment of death. Every tissue in your body depends on this continuous pumping action. Blood carries oxygen from your lungs to your cells, nutrients from your digestive system to wherever they're needed, hormones from glands to target tissues, immune cells to sites of infection, and waste products to your kidneys and liver for disposal. Without circulation, cells would starve and suffocate within minutes. Your heart is a marvel of biological engineering, a muscular pump built for endurance, able to adjust its rate and forced to meet changing demands. When you exercise, it speeds up and pumps harder. When you sleep, it slows. When you're frightened or excited, it responds instantly. All of this happens automatically, controlled by your autonomic nervous system and by the heart's own intrinsic pacemaker, without you needing to think about it. Your body can detect temperature changes as small as 1/100th of a degree Celsius. Specialized nerve endings, called thermoreceptors, are distributed throughout your skin and in some internal tissue. These receptors respond to temperature, sending signals to your brain that you interpret as warmth or cold. There are different types of thermoreceptors. Some respond to warming, others to cooling. Some detect temperatures in a specific range, others respond to changes. This diverse population of sensors allows you to perceive a wide range of temperatures and to detect subtle changes. This sensitivity is important for survival. It helps you avoid dangerously hot or cold objects before they cause damage. It guides you toward comfort, seeking warmth when cold, coolness when hot. It helps regulate your internal temperature, providing feedback about whether you're losing too much heat or overheating. Interestingly, your perception of temperature is relative, not absolute. If you put one hand in hot water and the other in cold water, then place both hands in lukewarm water, the lukewarm water will feel cold to the hand that was in hot water and warm to the hand that was in cold water. Your thermoreceptors adapt to the current temperature, and what you feel is the change, not the absolute value. This is why temperature perception can be misleading. You can gradually acclimate to changing temperatures without fully realizing how hot or cold it has become, because your receptors are constantly resetting their baseline. Babies are born with approximately 300 bones, but adults have only 206. As we grow, some bones fuse together. The skull, for instance, starts as several separate plates of bone. In infants, these plates haven't fully fused yet, and there are soft spots called fontanelles, where the bones haven't joined. These soft spots allow the baby's head to compress slightly during birth, making passage through the birth canal easier. They also allow the skull to expand as the brain grows rapidly during the first years of life. Gradually, over the first year or two, these fontanelles close as the skull bones fuse together. Other bones fuse later. The sacrum, at the base of the spine, starts as 5 separate vertebrae in children, but fuses into a single bone by the mid-20s. The coccyx, or tailbone, also fuses from multiple segments. Long bones in the arms and legs have growth plates, areas of cartilage near the ends where growth occurs. During puberty and late adolescence, these growth plates gradually ossify, turning into solid bone and fuse with the shaft of the bone. Once this happens, the bone can't grow any longer. This is why height increase stops in late adolescence or early adulthood. The exact timing of fusion varies between individuals and between different bones, influenced by genetics, nutrition, hormones, and overall health. Humans are bioluminescent, emitting very low levels of visible light. This glow is about 1,000 times weaker than the sensitivity of the human eye, so we can't see it without special equipment. Researchers using highly sensitive cameras, capable of detecting single photons, have captured images of this human bioluminescence. The glow is not evenly distributed. It's brightest around the face, particularly the forehead, cheeks, and neck. It's weakest on the body. The intensity also fluctuates throughout the day, following a circadian rhythm, dimmest in the morning and brightest in late afternoon. This pattern suggests the glow is linked to metabolic processes, which also varies throughout the day. The light is likely produced by chemical reactions in cells, particularly oxidative reactions involving free radicals and excited molecules that emit photons when they return to lower energy states. This bioluminescence serves no known function in humans. It's simply a byproduct of metabolism. Visible evidence of the chemical processes keeping you alive. It's a reminder that you are, fundamentally, a chemical system, a collection of ongoing reactions, transforming matter and energy, and in the process, creating light, heat, and movement. You are, in a very literal sense, a glowing being, even if the glow is too faint for eyes to see. Your blood makes up about 7 to 8% of your total body weight. For a person weighing 150 pounds, that's roughly 10 to 12 pounds of blood, approximately 1.2 to 1.5 gallons. This blood is not a simple liquid. It's a complex tissue composed of cells suspended in plasma. About 45% of blood volume is cells, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. The remaining 55% is plasma, a yellowish fluid that's mostly water but also contains proteins, hormones, nutrients, waste products, and electrolytes. Blood performs countless essential functions. It transports oxygen from lungs to tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. It carries nutrients from the digestive system to cells throughout the body. It transports hormones from endocrine glands to target organs. It carries immune cells and antibodies to fight infection. It helps regulate body temperature by distributing heat. It maintains fluid balance and pH. It transports waste products to the kidneys and liver for removal. Blood circulates continuously, completing a full loop through your body approximately once every minute at rest. During exercise, circulation speeds up, sometimes completing a loop in less than 30 seconds. This constant movement is essential. Cells can't function without a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients, and they can't tolerate a buildup of waste products. You breathe approximately 20,000 times per day. Each breath brings in oxygen and expels carbon dioxide, supporting cellular metabolism throughout your body. At rest, you breathe about 12 to 20 times per minute, though this varies with age, fitness level, and individual physiology. Each breath cycles about half a liter of air in and out of your lungs, though you can breathe more deeply if needed. Over the course of a day, that's roughly 10,000 liters of air passing through your lungs. Over a lifetime of 70 years, you'll take approximately 600 million breaths. Breathing is largely automatic, controlled by the brainstem, which monitors carbon dioxide levels in your blood and adjusts breathing rate accordingly when carbon dioxide rises, signaling that cells are producing waste faster. You breathe more frequently or more deeply. When levels are low, breathing slows. You can override this automatic control consciously, holding your breath or breathing faster on purpose. But eventually, the automatic drive becomes overwhelming. You cannot consciously suffocate yourself by holding your breath. As you would pass out, an automatic breathing would resume. Breathing is so fundamental, so constant, that you rarely notice it. But it's the most essential rhythm of life. You can survive weeks without food, days without water, but only minutes without breath. Your stomach produces a new layer of protective mucus every 3 to 4 days. This mucus layer is essential because the environment inside your stomach is extremely hostile. The hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes that break down food would quickly damage your stomach lining if it were UNT protected. The mucus creates a thick, gel-like barrier coating the inner surface of your stomach, keeping the acid and enzymes away from the actual tissue underneath. Cells in your stomach lining constantly secrete new mucus, replacing the old layer as it's degraded by the harsh environment. Bicarbonate ions are also secreted into the mucus, neutralizing any acid that does penetrate, creating a slightly alkaline microenvironment right at the stomach wall, even while the interior of the stomach is highly acidic. This protection system is remarkably effective, but it can fail. Certain bacteria, particularly Helicobacter pylori, can burrow into the mucus layer and damage the underlying tissue. Some medications, especially NSAIDs, like aspirin and ibuprofen, can thin the mucus or make the stomach lining more vulnerable. Stress, once thought to be the primary cause of ulcers, probably contributes by reducing mucus production or increasing acid secretion. Alcohol and smoking can also compromise the mucus barrier. When protection fails and acid reaches the stomach wall, it causes inflammation, which can progress to ulcers, painful sores that can bleed or, in severe cases, perforate the stomach wall. You blink approximately 15 to 20 times per minute, which adds up to about 28,000 blinks per day. Blinking serves several important purposes. Each blink spreads a fresh layer of tears across the surface of your eye, keeping it moist and washing away dust and debris. The tear film is essential for clear vision. Without it, your cornea, the clear front surface of your eye, would dry out and become cloudy. Blinking also gives your eyes a brief moment of rest, a fraction of a second of darkness in a world of constant visual input. Interestingly, blink rate isn't constant. It varies with what you're doing. When you're reading or staring at a screen, your blink rate often drops significantly, sometimes to as low as 3 to 4 blinks per minute. This is why prolonged screen use can lead to dry, tired eyes. You're not blinking often enough to keep your eyes properly lubricated. Conversely, when you're in conversation, blink rate increases. Blinking also serves as a nonverbal communication signal. We tend to blink more when we're nervous or stressed, and people unconsciously pick up on these cues. The average blink lasts about 1/10 to 1/3 of a second. Over the course of a day, you spend roughly 30 to 40 minutes with your eyes closed, just from blinking. Your brain filters out these brief moments of darkness, creating a seamless visual experience. You don't perceive the blinks. Vision feels continuous, even though it's actually interrupted thousands of times each day. Your body contains enough carbon to fill about 9,000 pencils, enough iron to make a 3-inch nail, enough phosphorus to make 2,200 match heads, and enough fat to make 7 bars of soap. These comparisons illustrate that your body is made of common elements, the same substances found throughout the universe. You are composed primarily of oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus, with trace amounts of dozens of other elements. Every atom in your body, except for hydrogen, was forged in the core of a star billions of years ago. Stars produce heavier elements through nuclear fusion, and when massive stars explode in supernova, they scatter these elements into space. Eventually, this stardust coalesced into planets, and on at least one planet, it organized into living systems. You are, quite literally, stardust, assembled into a form capable of contemplating its own existence. The atoms that make you up have existed for billions of years and will continue to exist long after you're gone, recycled endlessly through the universe. Inti sense you're temporary. What's permanent are the atoms themselves, briefly organized into the pattern that is you, before being dispersed and reorganized into something else. It's a humbling and beautiful perspective, connecting you to the cosmos, to deep time, to the fundamental processes that create and sustain complexity. Your tongue is the only muscle in your body that works without attachment to bones on both ends. Most muscles connect to bones, pulling them together or apart to create movement, but your tongue is different. It's a muscular hydrostat, like an elephant's trunk or an octopus's tentacle, made almost entirely of muscle with no skeletal support. It changes shape by contracting some muscle fibers while relaxing others, allowing incredible flexibility and precision. The tongue contains 8 muscles, 4 intrinsic muscles that change its shape, and 4 extrinsic muscles that change its position. This complex muscular arrangement allows you to perform a remarkable range of movements, essential for speaking, chewing, and swallowing. You can curl your tongue, flatten it, point it, move it side to side, stick it out, pull it back. These movements might seem simple, but they require sophisticated neural control and muscular coordination. The tongue's mobility is also crucial for oral hygiene, constantly moving around your mouth, clearing food debris from between your teeth, and distributing saliva. It plays a role in taste, positioning food against taste buds, and moving it around so you can experience different flavors, and it's essential for speech. Different sounds require specific tongue positions and movements. Without your tongue's flexibility, language as we know it would be impossible. You have approximately 2 million to 4 million sweat glands distributed across your skin, with the highest concentrations on your palms, soles of your feet, forehead, and underarms. There are 2 types of sweat glands. Eccrine glands, which are found all over your body, produce watery sweat primarily for cooling. When your body temperature rises, these glands secrete sweat onto your skin's surface. As the sweat evaporates, it carries heat away, cooling you down. Apocrine glands, found mainly in your armpits and groin, produce a thicker secretion that contains proteins and fats. This sweat is initially odorless, but when bacteria on your skin break down these compounds, they produce the characteristic smell of body odor. Interestingly, the amount you sweat and even the smell of your sweat can be influenced by genetics, diet, hormones, stress levels, and overall health. Some people sweat profusely, a condition called hyperhidrosis, while others sweat very little. Emotional stress can trigger sweating, independent of temperature, which is why you might sweat during a stressful situation even if you're not hot. This emotional sweating is thought to have evolved as part of the fight-or-flight response, making your palms and soles slightly moist to improve grip. Sweating is essential for temperature regulation, particularly in humans, who rely more heavily on evaporative cooling than most other mammals. The average person will spend about 25 years sleeping over the course of their lifetime. That's roughly 1/3 of your life spent unconscious, lying still, seemingly inactive. But as we've discussed, sleep is not downtime. It's active, essential, productive. Your brain is consolidating memories, clearing waste, pruning and strengthening neural connections. Your body is repairing tissues, synthesizing proteins, releasing growth hormones, regulating immune function. Sleep is when you heal, when you restore, when you prepare for the next day. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to a staggering array of health problems, including obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, weakened immune function, mood disorders, and cognitive decline. Getting adequate, Quality sleep is one of the most important things you can do for your health. Yet it's often undervalued in modern society. People brag about functioning on minimal sleep, as if it's a badge of honor, but the research is clear. Sleep is not optional. It's a biological necessity. Your body and brain need it. Respecting your need for sleep, prioritizing it, creating conditions that support it. These are investments in your long-term health and well-being. 25 years might seem like a lot of time to spend sleeping, but it's time well spent. Time that makes the other 45 years possible. Your right lung is slightly larger than your left lung because your heart, which sits slightly to the left of center, takes up space in your left chest cavity. Your right lung has 3 lobes, distinct sections, separated by fissures. Your left lung has only 2 lobes, and is about 10% smaller than your right lung. This asymmetry is functional, a design compromise that accommodates the heart while still providing adequate lung capacity for gas exchange. Despite the size difference, both lungs work together to supply your body with oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. When you breathe in, air flows into both lungs simultaneously, filling millions of tiny alveoli where gas exchange occurs. The total lung capacity for an average adult is about 6 liters, though you typically use only about half a liter with each normal breath. Your lungs are remarkably adaptable. Athletes and people who live at high altitude develop increased lung capacity and efficiency over time. Conversely, smoking and lung disease can severely reduce capacity. One of the interesting features of the lungs is that you can survive with just one. If disease or injury requires removal of one lung, the remaining lung can compensate to some degree, though breathing capacity and exercise tolerance will be reduced. The body is resilient, capable of adapting to significant changes and losses. Human bone, ounce for ounce, is about 5 times stronger than steel. Bone is a composite material, combining the hardness of minerals with the flexibility of collagen fibers. This combination creates a structure that's both strong and slightly flexible, able to absorb impact without shattering. If bones were purely mineral, they'd be brittle, breaking easily under stress. If they were purely protein, they'd be too soft and flexible, unable to support weight. The balance between minerals and collagen gives bone its remarkable properties. The outer layer of bone is dense and compact, providing strength. The inner layer has a spongy, honeycomb structure that reduces weight while maintaining strength. This design is incredibly efficient. Engineers study bone architecture when designing lightweight, strong structures. Despite bone's strength, it can break under extreme force. Fractures usually occur from traumatic injury, though diseases like osteoporosis can weaken bones, making them susceptible to fractures from minor impacts or falls. When a bone breaks, the body initiates a sophisticated healing process. Blood clots form at the break site. Immune cells arrive to clean up debris. Special bone-forming cells called osteoblasts migrate to the area and begin building new bone, creating a callus that bridges the break. Over weeks to months, this callus is remodeled, shaped, and strengthened until the bone is whole again, often stronger at the fracture site than it was before. Your body produces approximately 100 to 150 milliliters of cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF, every day. This clear, colorless fluid surrounds your brain and spinal cord, providing cushioning and protection. It acts like a shock absorber, protecting these delicate structures from jolts and impacts. CSF also helps remove waste products from the brain. Recent research has revealed that during sleep, the flow of CSF through the brain increases, washing away metabolic debris that accumulated during waking hours. This cleaning process is crucial for brain health. Disruptions in CSF circulation or production can lead to serious problems. Hydrocephalus, for example, occurs when CSF accumulates in the brain's ventricles, increasing pressure and potentially damaging brain tissue. This can happen if CSF production exceeds absorption or if flow is blocked. The total volume of CSF in your body at any one time is about 120 to 150 milliliters, roughly half a cup. But because it's constantly being produced and reabsorbed, the entire volume is replaced several times each day. CSF is produced by specialized structures called choroid plexuses inside the brain's ventricles. It flows through a series of interconnected chambers and channels, bathing the brain and spinal cord, then is reabsorbed into the bloodstream through structures called arachnoid granulations. Your small intestine is about 1 inch in diameter, while your large intestine is roughly 3 inches in diameter. This is why the small intestine is called small and the large intestine is called large, even though the small intestine is actually much longer, about 20 feet compared to the large intestine's 5 feet. The small intestine is where most nutrient absorption occurs. Food entering from the stomach is broken down further by enzymes and bile, then absorbed through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream. By the time food reaches the end of the small intestine, most nutrients have been extracted. What's left is primarily water, undigested fiber, and waste products. This material moves into the large intestine, also called the colon, where water is absorbed, concentrating the waste into feces. The large intestine also houses a massive population of bacteria, your gut microbiome, which ferments remaining fibers, produces certain vitamins, and plays important roles in immune function and overall health. The last part of the large intestine is the rectum, which stores feces until elimination. The entire digestive process, from eating to elimination, typically takes 24 to 72 hours, depending on what you ate, your individual digestive speed, and other factors. Throughout this journey, your digestive system is working constantly, breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, managing waste, maintaining the balance of microbes, all without conscious effort. You have approximately 45 miles of nerves running throughout your body. This vast network carries signals between your brain and every part of your body, coordinating movement, transmitting sensory information, and regulating unconscious functions like heart rate and digestion. Nerves are made of specialized cells called neurons, which can transmit electrical impulses at speeds up to 250 miles per hour. In the fastest nerves, different types of nerves have different functions. Sensory nerves carry information from your senses to your brain, telling you about touch, temperature, pain, position. Motor nerves carry commands from your brain to your muscles, telling them when to contract. Autonomic nerves control involuntary functions, managing your heart rate, breathing, digestion, and many other processes without conscious input. Damage to nerves can cause numbness, pain, weakness, or loss of function, depending on which nerves are affected. Some nerve damage can heal, particularly if the nerve cell body is intact and only the axon, the long projection that transmits signals, is damaged. Axons can regenerate slowly, growing back toward their targets. But if the nerve cell body dies, regeneration is not possible. This is why spinal cord injuries, which damaged many nerve cell bodies and their axons, often result in permanent paralysis. Protecting your nervous system means avoiding injuries, managing conditions that can damage nerves like diabetes, and maintaining overall health. Your ears play a crucial role in balance, not just hearing. Deep inside each ear, in the inner ear, are 3 semicircular canals, oriented in different planes, roughly corresponding to the 3 dimensions of space. These canals are filled with fluid and lined with tiny hair-like sensors. When you move your head, the fluid shifts, bending the hairs, which sends signals to your brain about the direction and speed of movement. This information combined with input from your eyes and proprioceptive sensors throughout your body that detect muscle and joint position, allows your brain to maintain balance and spatial orientation. When these systems conflict, you feel dizzy or disoriented. Motion sickness occurs when your inner ear senses movement, but your eyes see a stationary environment, like reading in a car or sitting below deck on a boat. The mismatch between sensory inputs confuses your brain. Vertigo, a sensation of spinning, can result from inner ear problems, often due to dislodged calcium crystals in the semicircular canals that send false signals about movement. Balance is something you take for granted until it's disrupted. Damage to the inner ear from infection, injury, or age-related degeneration can cause chronic balance problems, increasing the risk of falls. Balance can often be improved with exercises and physical therapy that help the brain compensate for sensory deficits. Your body contains approximately 60,000 miles of blood vessels. If you could lay them all end to end, they'd wrap around the earth more than twice. This vast network includes arteries, which carry oxygen-rich blood away from your heart, to the tissues, veins, which carry oxygen-depleted blood back to your heart, and capillaries, tiny vessels that connect arteries and veins and allow exchange of gases, nutrients, and waste products between blood and tissue. Capillaries are so small that red blood cells must pass through them single file. Yet they are so numerous that no cell in your body is more than a few cell widths away from a capillary. This ensures efficient delivery of oxygen and nutrients. The blood vessels are not rigid pipes. They're living tissue, able to constrict or dilate in response to signals from the nervous system and local chemical signals. This allows your body to redirect blood flow based on need, sending more blood to working muscles during exercise, more to the digestive system after eating, more to the skin when you're hot. Blood pressure is the force of blood pushing against vessel walls. It's generated by the heart's pumping action and regulated by vessel diameter and blood volume. Too high, and vessels can be damaged. Too low, and tissues don't get adequate blood flow. Your body carefully maintains blood pressure within a healthy range through multiple mechanisms. If you could extract all the DNA from all the cells in your body and stretch it end to end, it would reach from the sun to Pluto and back, several times over. Each cell contains about 6 feet of DNA, tightly coiled and packed into the nucleus. With trillions of cells in your body, that adds up to an astronomical length. DNA is the molecule that carries genetic information, the instructions for building and operating your body. It's a double helix. 2 strands wound around each other, with the information encoded in the sequence of 4 chemical bases: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. The sequence of these bases forms genes, which contain instructions for making proteins. Your DNA contains about 20,000 genes, though that's only a small fraction of your total DNA. Much of the rest was once considered junk, but is now known to have regulatory functions, controlling when and where genes are turned on or off. The information density of DNA is extraordinary. 1 gram of DNA can theoretically store about 200 petabytes of data, far exceeding any human-made storage device. DNA is also remarkably stable. Under the right conditions, it can persist for thousands of years, allowing scientists to sequence ancient DNA from fossils. Every time one of your cells divides, it must copy all its DNA accurately. Mistakes happen, mutations, but your cells have proofreading and repair mechanisms that catch and fix most errors. It is a testament to the sophistication of biology that the copying process is as accurate as it is. You have approximately 37 trillion cells in your body, though this number is an estimate and varies based on body size, age, and other factors. Each of these cells is a complex entity in its own right, containing its own machinery for energy production, protein synthesis, waste disposal, and communication. The largest cells in your body are egg cells and certain neurons. The smallest are red blood cells and some immune cells. Despite their size differences, all your cells share common features. They all contain DNA, the genetic blueprint. They all have membranes that separate their internal environment from the outside world. They all produce energy through metabolic processes. They all respond to signals from other cells. Together, these trillions of individual units work in remarkable coordination to create you. They form tissues. Tissues form organs. Organs form systems, and systems interact to produce the emergent property we call life. The fact that this works at all, that 37 trillion cells can cooperate so effectively, is perhaps the greatest mystery and miracle of biology. You are not just a collection of cells. You are an integrated system, a whole that's greater than the sum of its parts. Conscious, thinking, feeling, alive. Your heart began beating approximately 3 weeks after conception, long before you were born, before you were recognizable as a human, before most of your organs had formed. That initial heartbeat was the start of a rhythm that will continue until the moment of your death. Your heart will beat, on average, about 3 billion times over a lifetime of 70 years, pumping over 50 million gallons of blood through your circulatory system. It works continuously, without rest, without maintenance breaks, for your entire life. Every beat is a contraction, a squeeze that pushes blood out to your lungs and body, followed by relaxation that allows the heart chambers to refill. This cycle repeats roughly once per second at rest, faster during exercise or excitement, slower during deep sleep. Your heart adjusts constantly to your needs, responding to signals from your nervous system and hormones in your blood. It speeds up when you're active, stressed, or excited. It slows when you're calm and resting. And it does all of this automatically, faithfully, without you ever needing to think about it. Your heart is perhaps the most dedicated servant in your body, working tirelessly from before your first breath until your last, asking nothing in return except the oxygen and nutrients brought by the very blood it pumps. As we reach the end of this gentle journey through the wonders of your body, allow yourself to feel a deep sense of quiet appreciation. You've traveled through systems and processes that work without asking, that began before you were aware and will continue as long as you live. Your heart beats. Your lungs breathe. Your cells divide and renew. Your brain thinks and dreams. Your senses bring you the world. Your immune system guards you. Your blood flows. All of this happens beneath your awareness, a symphony of biology playing constantly, keeping you alive, keeping you whole. You don't need to manage it. You don't need to understand every detail. Your body knows what to do. It's been doing it since before your first memory, and it will continue until your last breath. If you found peace in this exploration, consider staying for another journey. There are more wonders to discover, more reasons to marvel. Subscribe if you'd like to return. Like this video if it brought you calm. Share it if you think others might find rest here too. But for now, simply rest. Let your breathing slow and deepen. Let your muscles release their tension. Let your thoughts dissolve like mist in morning sun. You are a miracle, performing countless miracles right now, in this very moment. Trust your body. It knows what to do. Sleep well. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Good night.